What's up, everybody? It's Y Original. We are
Yes,
back.
sir.
Another live show.
Another live show.
we live, though.
Gentlemen, introduce yourselves to the world for those who forgot.
Yo, you already know what it is. Angel Maldonado.
Jared Burton.
And it's me, Dominic Syracuse. Listen, we are here for something very special. We are here for the roast of this man.
Hold on. He told us to do this like how many months ago?
Oh, it was a while back, but this has been a.
That's right. But let's be specific. We're here for something special, not for someone special.
That's right.
We just want to make sure that
Yo,
it's
how about
clear.
we do this first? Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Richard Johnson.
We're saying happy birthday to the
Big
man,
facts.
Rich Johnson. Now, here's the thing. Richard wanted to be roasted for his birthday.
Yo, tell him
So,
why though.
This is a roast for Richard's 50th birthday. And listen, we're raising money.
There we
So
go.
if you donate $5, we're live at the Rail Spur. If you donate $5, you get to come and tell Richard Johnson all the things you've wished you could say to him
Love
Big
it.
facts.
for so
Whatever you
many
want.
years, right? And for those of you hanging out at home, you don't want to come in the cold, don't worry about it. Throw your comments live. Whatever roast you want to roast,
Yeah.
Richard,
Let's go.
you say it live. We will read it on
There
the
you go.
microphone over the air.
He's
Does
a
that
good
sound
sport. He's a good sport, even though it's his 50th.
Yo, Richard, why don't- Yo, Richard, talk to him. Let him know what up.
So the QR code, so if you still donate online,
Yeah.
so if you say you want to throw a jab at me through the comments, you still have to donate, or Dominic, Jared, and Angel will not read it because we
Yes.
want to see literally a contribution.
Facts.
That's right.
So this does all go to the Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund.
I love it.
And
Let's
so
go.
there is a PayPal link and a QR code on my Facebook page that one of these guys will go rip off and then probably post it in the comments on YouTube,
Big
Facebook,
facts.
wherever this is going.
We got
And so you can donate virtually as
Got
well.
it.
So
Got it.
So yeah, $5 a hit.
Tell him again what's it going toward?
It goes to the Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and so basically that's an organization here in Cheyenne that is basically helps Hispanic teens that may not have scholarship opportunities. That this is one more avenue for them.
I love
to, go to school after
I love it.
high school. So,
Absolutely. We love it.
Facts,
Yep,
man.
all local.
I love it.
It's gonna
Listen,
be
That's what we're about.
Yo,
amazing.
Richard, happy birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you so much.
Happy
I
birthday,
know. I
brother.
look pretty damn good for 50.
Oh,
Big
Don't-
fact.
don't
Whoa,
look
whoa.
Don't look a day over 75. I
Okay.
guarantee it.
So I have two people here. I have John T. That I know from Freedom's Edge, and Dominic. They kind of got into a little thing. Hey, John, come here. So so basically
go.
to get this event started, I'm gonna kind of turn it over to John and Dominic because they've kind of like debated between themselves about who was gonna take like the first jab. But John kind of conceded to Dom, saying because you do stand up and you're probably a little more fluid, I'll just come in with some quick jabs, from left field, and then Dom will kind of make sure everything stays on pace. So,
Yes.
So,
Got
so Dominic, John, it's all up to you. I'll
Let's
go
do
sit in
it.
my chair with my beer.
All right.
Let the roast begin.
Let's do it.
Meanwhile, we got the Y Original podcast. These gentlemen
Yo, it's a
are going to
pleasure
be
to be back.
commenting. They're going to be talking about it. The big thing is, y'all, send in your roasts, okay? Send in your roasts, and we will read them live. So long as we get a donation, we will be putting a donation link in the comments. So that'll be excellent. It'll be really, really, really good. Yeah, you guys just feel free to comment on whatever's being said up
You
here.
got it.
Think of these two are going to be like sports announcers
That's
to
right.
the roast over here. Rich is going to have his own microphone. We're going to tear the whole thing up. It's going to be fun. And I think we're about to get started with
Let's
the
do it.
roast. So for anybody watching, just check it out. Enjoy the roast, enjoy the laughter. And if you want to take part, either come into the Rail Spur so you could do this yourself. It'll be great. Or comment the roast on comment the roast on the Facebook
On the
feed.
Facebook. Yeah.
We'll read it live.
Check
Sound
it,
good?
good, man. You could be anonymous or live. Let's
Yeah,
get it poppin'.
yeah. We'll do it right.
We're
We'll do
charging
it
double
right.
for anonymous. We want to know who you are.
That sounds great. All right, y'all. We're about to get things ready, rocking and rolling. We're gonna
All
switch
right,
to
here we
double
go.
cam. We're gonna set things up right now.
Boom.
So now, hit the yep.
There we go. There we
Alright.
go.
So what do you think, Jack? I think it's a good event. Look at all these people up in here.
It's a good event. We don't have a third camera. We do apologize, but it is it's quite full in here. People coming to roast Richard, which I'm not shocked. I've only met him once, and I wanted to roast him.
Honest, you
So-
could turn that camera real quick to give him a little.
We
sneak
could.
peek.
Oh, I don't want to mess up his angle.
Well, let's
We're
wait.
gonna
Let's
leave it
wait.
there.
Look, it'll get more
Let's
packed.
take
anyway,
off, and then
but
we'll let it be.
what I do like is showing love to your community, right?
Absolutely,
Councilman, second time. You
absolutely.
know what I'm saying? Coming in, still showing love on his birthday to give back to his community. So
Yep.
that's
And-
what WOM is about.
And was Richard our first guest? Are we going around? Are we
Let's
going
just keep
full
it a
circle?
buck. He wasn't our first guest, but he was our. Oh no, he was our.
I'm
first
pretty
guest.
sure he was.
You know what? I'm thinking about shows. He was
Oh
our
yeah, no.
first
He was
guest
our.
on the show.
I'm pretty sure he was our first guest.
Yeah, man, this was about March.
Yep. So
March.
we're going full circle now. Now we're doing a live show for his roast that we talked about on that episode. So
Yeah, so it's a fact, man. I'm having a good time. I'm glad we were invited out.
absolutely.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. If y'all watching, y'all just need to show up, man. It's looking pretty good in here. And just let Richard know how you feel. If you don't know him, there's a lot to talk about. You can do a little research right now.
Yeah,
online
absolutely.
and go
Absolutely.
figure it out.
Again, it's all for a good cause. It's all for a good cause at the end of the day. So
Big
you know,
facts.
even if you don't know him, you want to just come down and have a good time at the roast bar.
I am gonna say this though. December 16th
Yeah.
at the Eagles Lodge. It's gonna be the Christmas party for the kids.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna have Santa there giving toys, raffle tickets for bigger prizes. We got Chick-fil-A in the house. We got Hambone. We got Pepsi.
Yeah.
Walmart, BAM, painting. We got the Presidential Barbershop pulling up. We got your back is available.
I like
It's Cheese Spot putting an event on in the community, giving back to families, to the children in our community for Christmas.
Every time I turn around, you're doing something big, you know, for the community, for the people, man. And I just always, you my boy, and we talk all the time. And I know all of these things are coming up, but I just want to give you your respect because you're always doing something, you know.
Always appreciate
Always.
it, but it takes all of us, honestly. You know,
Absolutely.
the fact that everybody wants to participate and start collaborating and doing bigger efforts and continue this going. I'm more amazed of the camaraderie our community is gathering
Yeah.
out of all these events. You know what I mean?
Whenever we come together, it is a good time. And I mean, be honest, Wyoming. I mean, it's Cheyenne. Sometimes it takes a minute. You know, you got to pull some teeth
Big facts.
to get people to a location. And I mean, that's okay. It's a small town, but when they do come together, like you said, when we all come together, it's always a good time.
Remember,
So,
December 16th,
Test.
Eagles Lodge from 2 to 5. We're gonna touch on a little more, but let's get back to this
here
road.
we go.
Hey, Roaster, if y'all are ready to roast Richard Johnson, make some noise.
As he
let's
slides
go.
out of the camera. Hey, he's a professional, ladies and
First
gentlemen.
off, I
All right,
gotta
here we go.
ask, how many
There we go,
people
okay.
came specifically to hear Richard Johnson get roasted tonight? Make some noise. Okay. Yes.
Even though I was
How many
invited.
people
I
came
was
in
invited
because
too.
they just wanted to stop in the rail spur on a Thursday night? All of you are going to have a very, very strange night. Just so you know. They're like, man, I came in here for a drink and just heard about this politician's penis for an hour.
Dom.
It's going to be weird. Also, I just said a word. There is a very young girl sitting here right now. Hi, hey,
There's a little
how
girl
y'all
in the
doing?
audience. So
It started already. Hey, how's it going? Hi, what's your name?
Check out this crowd. by the way.
Ariana, that's a beautiful name. Hey, how old are you, Ariana?
8.
You're 8 years old? And who are these? Is this your mom? Who's this? This is your grandma. You don't know who this lady is. She just came and sat next to you. Okay, great. And what's your name, Grandma?
BB.
BB, listen, your grandma is going to have to explain a lot to you on the ride home. Okay? Not at all.
Richard warned me, and she's heard it all before. If it's not on the playground, at the school, it's on
I like
their
that.
cell phones.
I like
This
that.
is nothing new that she has not heard or even seen on TV or commercials or 2.5 Men.
Oh,
I like
well,
that.
First of all, we'll see. Secondly, did you know I'm the half man from 2.5 Men? Did you know that? Yeah, I'm just kidding. All right. Everybody give it up for Ariana Beebe in the house. My name is Dominic Syracuse. I'm going to be your Roastmaster General, and we are here
There we go, people.
to roast Mr. Richard Johnson, everybody. Yes. Listen, Rich, because he's such a cool guy, the way he wanted to do this is we are raising money for the Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund. Did I get that right? The Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund.
Hispanic
Rich, tell us
Scholarship
a little
Fund.
bit about what we're raising money for right now.
Actually, I'm going to turn over the mic. Rachel, get up here and explain.
Okay, well, everyone give it up for Rachel.
Let's go,
some
Rachel.
noise.
Let's go.
So, what are we raising money for? Tell us about this.
Sure. Well, happy birthday, Richard, and thank you so
Oh.
much. She's the guru of fundraising. The Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund. Hope stands for Hope, the Hispanic Organization for Progress in Education. And for over 30 years, we've been helping the youth, all youth, but targeted to Latinos to go to college because they are underrepresented in terms of scholarships and funding. So, of course, we support all youth, but we give out scholarships. And this year, we gave out 13 scholarships, 11 memorial scholarships. And so we give out thousands of dollars each year. And you guys, the rising cost of college, it's still not enough.
Absolutely.
So we have more applicants than ever applying for school. We serve all of Laramie County, so Cheyenne, Pine Bluffs, Burns, and we give them scholarships to go to college, to trade school. It doesn't have to be, a higher education institution. It can be any kind of training that they want to do post-secondary. So we're really passionate about that. Also mentoring them. Financial literacy is a big thing that we do. So we just appreciate it. We have a PayPal code if you want to give that way.
And
We
we'll
have a
be adding that
website,
to the-
hopewyoming.org.
Yep.
And we're always looking for help, but we just appreciate Richard. He's amazing. Really appreciate this. And you can learn all about our amazing scholarship recipients on our website.
Nice.
So let's celebrate Richard. Yay.
Let's do it.
Shout out to that.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Give it up one more time. One more time.
Let's go.
So here's how this is going to work, okay? We have our little donation jar right here. If you come up and pay $5, all right, $5, or make a donation via the website, $5, you get to come up and tell this man everything you've been wanting to tell him.
Right.
Everything. And now, if I know, listen, I don't know Richard's relationship with everybody else here, but I know that I've filled about 3 pages for this motherfucker that I'm about to dive into, which I'm really excited.
And it's single
I'm going
spaced.
to get the roast started. Now, listen, it doesn't even have to be a roast if you don't want it to. This can just be you getting up here and being like, motherfucker, you owe me $25. Like, why are you making me do that, right? Whatever you want to say. It can be kind, it can be roastful, it can be whatever. This is your opportunity. You get the mic. Come stand here. I'm going to get things started. Now,
All right, people, here we
Rich
go.
and I go way back, all right? Like way, way far. Now, here's the thing. Rich, oh, by the way, I forgot to make a couple of super important shout outs right away. First, we got the Y Original Podcast in the building, everybody. Make
Hello,
some
folks.
noise.
Hello,
Let's
hello,
go.
hello.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, got Mr. Angel Maldonado from the
Let's go.
Presidential Barber Shop. Yes,
Let's
yes.
go.
Got Mr. Jared Burton from Act 2 Studios. Now, we're going to be broadcasting live, taking in, there's people
Yeah.
online right now sending their roasts in, donating all that. We're going to be reading it, broadcasting stuff live all the time. Also, huge round of applause for Mr. Chris Robarge from First Amendment Sound, providing the sound for us. So had to give credit where credit's due. Now, on to Richard. Buddy.
Buddy.
I
Where's
had
the donation
this dude-
at?
we had this dude as a guest on the podcast not too long ago, okay? And I said right away, I was like, this is Richard Johnson, otherwise known as Penis.
Correct.
Right? And I threw that out there and he goes like this. He goes, oh, is that the best you got? And I was like, all right, man, it's time to roast. I'm like, dude, I'm not just going to tear into your ass live. And he goes, dude, I work in politics. How do you think I got the job? He's ready for it. I'm going to tell you a true story about Richard. This is my favorite story to tell about Rich Johnson, all right? Last year, we were doing the Comedy for Camilla show, where we got a very famous comedian, Christopher Titus, to come in and do a comedy show to raise money for the Camilla shelter, okay? Now, he Rich, that's what he does, man. He helps
Bear
out the
with me, guys. I'm
community.
trying
He
to
does
add
so
our,
much good
QR code
stuff.
on there.
That's why we love him. And Rich is turning 50 years old today. 50 years old. Give it up for 50 years
back.
old.
Check.
Are you kidding me? That means you were born in 1973? Yeah, because you look like you've been awake since 1957. Your face looks like it got kicked in the balls, Rich. I love you to death. Listen, I can't make fun of this guy. He's done so much good for the world, right? Like I said, this dude, like I said, he was there to help with Christopher Titus coming in to raise money for the Camilla shelter. This dude got a $25,000 donation from Tony Hawk to help us build the skate park in town. Do you guys know that? Yeah. He's most famous for being the villain in the first Men in Black movie. You remember when he was like walking around? I swear to God, if you don't think that joke is funny, you've clearly never binge drank with Rich until 4 a.m. and saw him stumble into a van going, like that. We love it. I told that joke to Cherie, right? My wife. And she goes, Rich doesn't look like that guy. He looks like David Duchovny if he got stung by a lot of bees. Great. I do a Rich Johnson impression, and this is my Rich Johnson impression. It's, hey guys. That's how Rich sounds to me. Essentially, do you guys remember Steve-O from Jackass?
Oh boy, let's go.
It's like if Steve-O from Jackass is just taking a shit all day long. That's what Rich sounds like. Like, yeah. For those of you who don't know who Steve-O is the guy from Jackass who used to like staple his testicles. Do you remember this? Everybody remember Steve-O, right? So Rich sounds like Steve-O's voice, and he looks like Steve-O's scrotum. That's the way we break it down. I tease him so much, man, because he's like, how in the world did this guy,
I think so.
get into politics? You know what I mean? Like, what made Rich Johnson? Because Rich grew up in the 80s, right? He was a skateboarding dude. He's a super punk rock, heavy metal guy. He's probably got tons of STDs.
Maybe
Why
one or two.
politics? But I figured it out. It's because when Rich was coming of age, trying to figure out what he wanted to do, that was in the 90s. You guys remember politics in the 90s? right? You had Marion Barry, the mayor of DC, smoking crack with prostitutes.
Yeah, sure. I
Right?
remember
You
that.
had
I remember
Jesse
that.
the Body Ventura, who was a professional wrestler and became the governor of Minnesota. And then you had Bill Clinton getting a blowjob in office. Rich was like, politics is the life for me. That's where I need to be. You know, I was talking to Rich. I was like, the definition of politics, you have poly, which means many, and ticks, which is blood-sucking creatures.
That's it. Nailed it, especially today.
And Rich looked at me and he went, you had me at sucking. He loves it. And I love him. But the thing is, Rich is super passionate about the community. When he came on Why Original, we talked about Rich's passion project,
Yeah.
which is decriminalizing cannabis in the state of Wyoming. Give it
Y'all
up.
hear the cheers.
Give
Y'all
it
hear the
up.
cheers.
And I told him, man, I was like, in this state, that sounds hard, like really, really hard. How are you going to get the votes up for that? And he goes, Dom, at my age, it's the only thing that I can get up or hard.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fair. No, that's fair. I get it. I get it. I love you. Let me see what else I got. Steve-O, Boss, Men in Black 50. I think that's it. The mic is now open. It is now your time
So it's
to
your
rip
opportunity.
into this
If you
gentleman
guys got some
right
comments,
here.
you know, something
All
you want to
right.
say,
Here's
go ahead
what
and
I'm
send them
gonna
in.
do.
Let us know. We're
I'm
watching
going
on
to call
Facebook.
up our first person
Anything you
to
wanna say.
roast this man.
Yeah, we got
And then you get to take it.
we got
You
quite a
get
bit
to
of a
say
show.
whatever
so
you'd
A lot of
like. You
people
get
in
to
line.
make your donation, and we are going to keep this going all night long. Are you guys ready
That's all
for
right.
a super amazing birthday celebration? All right. Now, in true roast fashion, before I get off the mic, Rich, I got to be honest with you, man. It is so cool to have someone like you making decisions in our community. I really mean it, man. I honestly wish every politician on earth was like you. Not just because you care about the people, not just because you are super knowledgeable, like almost on like a Rain Man. There's something wrong with the development of your brain level. You know the laws in and out. You care about the people. And most importantly, if you have a glass, everybody raise a glass to a politician that can actually take a fucking joke.
Amen.
Let's go.
Amen.
Let's go.
Rich, we love you. This is all in love. Now, as you requested, let's tear up that ass. Who's first? Who's coming up? Who's got it? Everybody make some noise!
All right, we got our next guest up.
Hi, y'all. John Chisignan. First of all, Rich, before you even fucking ask, yes, I have $1. God damn it, dude. You got a good paying job. You're a politician. You got another good paying job. And you don't fucking carry any cash. You fucking mooching fuck.
Oh man.
God.
Oh, it starts.
You know,
Here it
when I
is.
first
Here it is.
met Richard or seen him, I was like, who is this disheveled, ugly, loud, obnoxious,
Fair. These all fair.
cock-sucking motherfucker?
Fair, fair.
But then I started talking to him, got to know him. And I realized I was pretty much right on most of those assessments. But then I said, hey, I started talking, getting to really know him. And I'm like, man, he's a really good guy. He really is. And if I could open up his chest and look at his heart, I could see how big it is, how much passion he has to help the community, help this town, and really do the right thing. I mean, if you have a community engagement or like a fundraiser, he'll be the first one
He will.
to sign up. He'll be
That's
first
true.
one.
That's a big fact.
These all facts, y'all.
He'll be the last one to show up. He'll say he's late, but he will be the first one to take credit.
Yeah.
Hey, take
And do
that.
this. Hey, look at me. I'm picking up trash. Feeding the homeless. Hey, look at me. I built a splash pad so I can watch the little kids get wet.
Oh, shots
What the
fired.
fuck's up with that, dude?
Shots fired.
Oh, that's funny. How's it going?
Hey,
Oh,
how's that
boy.
big fucking hole doing? Are you gonna fill that yet? Maybe we can fill it with all your bullshit.
Oh boy.
That was good.
But seriously,
That's
man,
hot.
you
I
know,
like that.
there's a lot of things about you that we could talk about. We could talk about your love life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We could talk about your political misdoings or whatever. There's a lot of things we could talk about. But man, you know, like here you are, you hit me 50. You're a rebel. You're been called a maverick.
Maverick, I like it.
Yeah. Top Gun status.
And he's been getting a lot of ink done. You know that? A lot of tattoos. Being a rebel. Yeah, look at you, big rebel guy. Hey, Richard, you're hitting 50. Getting tattoos and being a rebel at 50, that's lame. You're a poser. That's in your 20s. Dude. Bullshit. Go walk a mile.
Oh, man.
No, but seriously, like at your age, you're supposed to be going through your midlife crisis.
I
You're
think
supposed to be
this
like
is it. This might
buying
be it.
something fast and expensive, or
Experiencing
fucking
it
something
right now.
young and pretty. Sam, she's not here. Too bad. She's cute. She's probably hiding. I would too if I was
Oh
dating her.
no.
But you know, she's only 20, 25 years younger than you. No big deal. And at least this time around, it's not another Kim. 3 would have been weird.
Oh. Oh.
Shots is fire.
Did you hear the whole crowd just now?
Apparently they know these Kims.
They know
the
about it.
Kims.
They know what's going on.
Oh,
right
Richard,
now,
but
bro.
you know what, dude? I actually admire your love life. I do. I mean, dude, like,
That DMX.
how the
shit.
hell
know,
do you
right?
find so many women with
At
low,
least 3 Kims.
low standards? I mean, shit. I mean, help a fellow ugly fucker out. Don't hog them all.
Oh,
I could be your white man. You could be mine. Whatever the fuck. What do you pick them up? The homeless shelter? Old lady shelter? Helpless single moms? What? Where we go? Oh, I like that one.
let's go.
Oh,
It's actually
Richard.
genius though. I mean,
He
it
actually
is.
knows what he's looking
That's,
for.
that's not bad.
It's really
Yeah,
it's
man,
genius.
No wonder he
Right on.
does so many
Let's see.
events.
Right there you go.
Right.
So I
It
got
makes
your
sense now.
dumbass. So yeah, over the years we've done a lot of stuff together, a lot of community service, and I got to tell you, dude, like I said, you are a freaking superhero when it comes to like community service. You've done it all, politics, everything, getting things passed, that open container laws, trying to fight to get marijuana passed. Yes, everything. You're the man. But you know, you're basically like Superman. But just like Superman has kryptonite, you have a
Uh-oh.
weakness too.
Oh, Lord.
Lo and behold, the hill that Richard Johnson's political career will die on
Oh my god.
will be lined with these motherfuckers.
Oh my god. So for the people that don't know, they tried to make an ordinance about plastic bags, you know, and charging for them or outlawing them.
Like they
So,
do in Cali.
Like they do in
or
Cali.
Texas
You're a
State.
loud, obnoxious asshole.
Richard, was the
I
bag your
love
idea?
talking shit to you.
Oh my god.
Continue to do it.
Lord.
But I can tell you, you've inspired everybody, man. You really have. Lots of people, myself included. You've inspired me to get more involved in politics and more involved in the community, and just to overall and be a better person, man. I really appreciate it. I love you. Happy 50th fucking birthday,
Hey,
Richard.
hey.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That was a good one.
Everybody, give it
I
up
like
for
that
John.
That was good.
I'm about to say.
I didn't catch his last name, so I
Yeah,
just said
dude.
John something. So
That was
you know,
amazing.
talk to people that
that
know
was
him.
so funny.
He
He
thought
said,
about
he
that.
said love life. Like I saw you immediately.
His eyes got big.
You shrunk in your chair just like your dick after a lot of whiskey.
Yikes! Yikes!
Oh no. Oh no. I gotta tell you, no, straight up, Rich really does have a way with the ladies. Like you wouldn't
Oh,
believe.
Lord.
I have my beautiful wife, Cherie, over here, who's super embarrassed that I'm saying her name. The first time she met Rich, we were at the Lincoln. They were doing the band, you know, live band music. And he walks over in his rich way and he's like, hey, what's up? You know, and I'm Rich. And then she's like, hey, and he goes, you don't got to talk to me. You're a strong, independent woman. You can do whatever you want. You're powerful. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. Okay, I believe in you, and I know you believe in yourself.
I love it.
So you have a good night. And then he walks over. My wife looks at me and's like, he can come to dinner whenever he wants. He can do it. But you know what? Like any other politician, he's a fucking sneaky snake. He's a snake. You know why? I posted a video, like a joking video online of me having a fake argument with my wife. And the joke was at the end, she killed me. Right? Like that was the punchline. The only person who commented on the whole video was Rich going, so she's single now?
Next in line. Rick says he's next in line.
Swear to God, you be careful with this motherfucker right
Oh,
here.
man.
All right. Microphone is open. Who's up? Who's up?
Let's go.
Tell your name to everybody.
Mariah Kilmer.
Mariah. Everybody give it up for Mariah.
Yes, sir. Close to my mouth, heard. I know, right?
Yo, they
I left
breaking out
him
the
at home so I
phones.
could
They
have all the
wrote something.
fun.
That's it. Oh, she prepared.
I did
super
prepare
prepared.
because stand up is not my jam. But Cheyenne, welcome to what is sure to be the gnarliest dick roast in town.
I love it.
We're celebrating the 50th birthday of the raddest skateboarder in town. If he can even still skate in the shape he's in. How are those knees, Richard? Long before I knew Richard, he was preparing my Pete's Pizzas, serving his community through tossing dough and the occasional salad.
Oh, nice. No.
Yeah.
From there, John Doe Zine, where he promoted local skateboarding through his trash magazine.
Like
I
it.
wouldn't even believe it was real if I didn't have this ratty t-shirt as proof. Somehow he convinced Tony Hawk to come here and support our skate community. He probably gave Tony one of those Pete's Pizza salads.
Nice. All in a day's work, Rich.
That's how he was able to do the 540.
Oh boy.
One of the few good things about Richard Johnson is his support of small business. As a small business owner, I can attest to that. Sometimes it's as bad as it is good. If you've spent more than 5 minutes around Richard, you know he's one loud motherfucker. And oftentimes I see him long before I hear him long before I see his face,
Love it.
which honestly is sometimes is a blessing. You need to be in the right headspace to take in that face only his mother and Sam could love.
Yeah, I love it.
And at least then you know to run away before you get sucked into one of his revolving stories where he's surely bragging about doing good deeds for Cheyenne while simultaneously pissing off most of the community. Rinse, repeat. If only he could figure that out in the shower.
Fire, fire.
Oh, she's killing.
Oh, that's-
As a Ward 3
Shots of
member,
fire.
Richard is my city council representative and neighbor. Knowing he works with Rooted in Cheyenne, one time I bribed him to bring with beers to do community service by
Smart.
trimming the aspen in my front yard. But all he did was show his ass crack and piss off a wasp that were even in the tree. That's how abrasive he is without even trying.
Oh, God.
Honestly, all he has to do to piss someone off is get dressed. I was halfway expecting he'd be wearing his Tillicum shirt.
What is the shirt he's wearing any better?
No. Happy 50th, Richard. May your wheels keep rolling and your half pipe never crumble. Keep
Love it.
carving your mark in Cheyenne, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Nice.
Oh.
That was badass. That was badass.
Okay, so
I like that.
So I'm going to do something because Mariah talked about being in Ward 3, but I know any of you that actually followed. So I do want to, my mom is super scared of public speaking, but I'm going to call her out anyways. Mom, come up here. So if anybody has actually followed along on the last month of our lives, and it's funny because they brought up, Richard, can you even walk a mile? I nearly killed my mother in Europe by walking more. Mom, get up here. You can, come on. Everybody needs to meet you.
Oh,
Red shirts, pop! Red shirts, pop! Red shirts, pop!
Come on,
I can
mom.
bring it back to you. They can carry the cameras. Trust
No,
me.
you're good. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
She's
Come on, you're
becoming.
Facebook famous. You were like in what? 25,000 selfies with me compared to the 2 photos you posted, according to Jeremy.
I love it.
So, all right, everybody. So, if you wonder where my laugh came from, it's from this lovely lady right here. Unfortunately, my dad couldn't make it. That's where my analytical brain and sarcasm come from. So I got the best of both worlds, but thank you so much. 50 years ago,
Little
around
video
this time,
difficulty,
she
guys. Give
was
us one
in
sec.
labor. And literally, did she probably think 50 years from 1973 would she be listening to a community of people just literally annihilate her creation? I do. I have to give my mom mad props. My best friend, Juice, get over here. So my best friend actually came up from Fort Collins. I wish that he didn't have such stage fright because this guy could tell you stories that would really roast the shit out of me. So meet the people that have been the most influential in my life. My mom, from obviously giving birth to me, raising me the way I am, and my best friend, and Jeremy, come here. My 2 adoptive brothers. I wish their dad and mom could have come as well. These guys literally they were my homies for life. They obviously still are. We've been friends for nearly 40 years. And I mean, you guys think that what Mariah or John or Dominic said are bad? Guess what? We were all live before the damn internet. And it's funny that that Dominic brought up. Juice and I have, if this tells you how gnarly we were, in 1992, we got a phone call from Jeff Tremaine from Dick House Productions. I turned down, I'm glad because he would have been dead. But I turned down, Juice and I got offered to be in Jackass.
Oh,
In
nice.
1991. We got the call from Jeff Tremaine. I turned it down, and and then when Tony Hawk did invite us to go out and live with him in his house in 1992, I turned both of them down because I wanted to be a Civil War historian.
Well, you're close. I mean,
So I do
same
want to,
thing.
I want to take an intermission because I know if my mom has to leave early and then these guys have to get back to Colorado, I did want to tell that it means so much for me, for my mom, my cousin, and then my best friends for life to come up and see me. So thank you guys if you do this.
Shout out to Richard and his family.
Hey, you grab the mic, you owe $5, fucker.
That's right. It's for a good cause, Richard. I promise. Mom, you want to talk? Mom, you want to talk?
And here, you want to say?
Oh yeah, here.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, like you said, we survived 2 weeks and I think we're still friends.
Yeah.
You know, living together 24/7 and traveling and being. I never thought I'd see a lot of these different things. But
Oh.
as of Richard, that, pack and go.
I love it.
Yeah, three times so far that I've actually got her to tell me. Once was at the Great Wall of China. Second was at the Panama Canal. Third time was at the Pyramids of Giza, where she, like my mom, actually hugged me and said, "I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime."
I love it.
Welcome to life with me.
Shout out to Richard.
I love it. I love
Hey,
it.
what's your name? What's your name? You're Pat? Listen, everybody, give it up for Pat. Because if Pat didn't get busy with Richard's dad 50 years ago, we wouldn't be here right now.
That was a blizzard.
Oh. Yeah. Now, are you saying what specifically was a blizzard, Pat?
It was in March. So you know what happened.
You just needed to be kept a little warm. I totally
Baby, it's
understand.
cold outside.
Oh my
I
God.
love it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Bro, what
Oh
a
my
show
gosh.
so
One
far.
more time for Pat.
No,
Holy
hilarious,
cow.
hilarious.
What a show so far.
I'm telling you, you know,
I thought he was gonna go into like a.
it's
a
not
mom
your
joke,
your
but he kept
amazingness
it-
is
he kept it
clearly
clean.
not your own, man.
He kept
Like,
it
you
clean.
come from super cool people. You were really almost in Jackass? Are you serious?
Man, that's probably fire.
Come on, Juice.
Yeah, he's all right, right? Like, I mean, I totally get it. And you wanted to become a
see if
Civil
we can
War
get Juice up here.
historian? Is it because of how fucking racist you are? Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The good old days, huh,
I'm
Richard?
just playing. I'm just saying. Mariah made a great point. Rich is a huge supporter of small business, but that's only because all those Kims he dated, that's what they named his penis.
Small business.
That's what Rich calls it when there's a blizzard. He says it's time for his small business. You know? It's only open for 45 seconds is the problem.
Yikes.
All right, we got the mic open. We got the mic. I see some money in hand. I think we got BB in the house coming up.
Ladies first.
Everybody make some noise.
Hi, Richard. Oh, again. Hi, Richard. Did you say up to the mouse?
Put it in your mouth.
All the way up to the mouth?
There you go, BB.
Richard. All the way to the mouth? My
Jared, you seemed a little
granddaughter's here.
comfortable saying
Sorry.
that. You
Sorry.
seemed a little easy
I have
throwing that out
kids.
there.
Okay.
I have a lot of
So,
kids.
Anyway,
Fair.
I can't remember when I met Richard. It's been such a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was at the Zombie Festival when he was trying to eat my neck.
Yikes. What you
And I
said,
couldn't
neck?
get him off of there. But anyway, I have to say that Richard has been a really, really good guy to the city of Cheyenne.
Yeah.
And every time I need fundraising, there's a guy to come to. I didn't mean that come to, I mean to ask. Sometimes it's just hard. I mean, to remember.
All right, BB, we've heard he was eating your neck.
Yeah.
He comes to you.
Yeah.
Hard.
And he came.
And he came. Okay. All right.
So anyway, Richard, I would like to say on behalf of BB Mulway, the Greenway Advisory Committee, Greenway Found, always put up to my mouth. You are not Richard.
I want to be.
Well, anyway, here we go again. Back in the mouth. Richard.
Richard.
Well, anyway, I want to say thank you, Richard, for all that you do for the city of Cheyenne. And especially if you guys don't get the newspaper, you should. Richard had a great article today about puppy mills.
Oh. Fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
Well, and he's not talking about girl puppies
Oh.
or his guppies. What do you call those guys again? When you were like trying to come on to me.
Who knows what it's called nowadays?
Well, hey, Richard, my granddaughter's here. It's a school night, but I had to come say happy birthday. And I think I should get everybody sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Richard. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, give it up for BB. Woo!
Yeah, that was a bunch of buckshot.
That was a lot. That was
That
a
That was
lot.
not a
Awesome.
BB gun.
That's
That was
Not
a
at
buckshot.
all.
Now, I heard something. Does anybody else at this table want to do any roasting at all? You want to give it a try? No? All right. I just wanted to throw it out. That's okay. That's okay. I'd love to hear what TikTok's taught you. That's all I'm saying.
We got an 8-year-old
All right.
in the house.
Microphone is open. We are accepting donations for the Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund to roast
Shout out
Richard
to Hope.
Johnson. We have
Donating
another local
scholarships to our
legend in the
community.
house. Everybody make some noise for Mr. Josh Gonzalez.
All right. So I'm actually Mike Morris tonight. He's unable to make it.
Oh, I love when they
So
have a
this is
phone
on
already.
behalf
Wow,
of
look at the
Miguel.
preparing
Josh,
love it.
this is Mr. Gonzo, Josh Gonzalez of the Josh Gonzalez Band.
Oh, he's fire.
Local
too. He's
legend
fire,
right
by the way.
here.
Hell
Love
yeah.
it.
Big
I
facts.
should have been way more prepared, huh? That's what they all say. Dear Richard,
Dear.
you mean so much to me that I no-showed your roast and Josh had to deliver my message for me. I hope it's another year of being told to shut the hell up by John and Renee for being too loud at performances by world-renowned classical guitarists.
I love it. One of a kind.
P.S. Take our $10 and stick it where the sun don't shine. The downtown hole you assholes haven't gotten filled in 20 years. Double P.S. An extra fuck you for that snowball you hit the lead singer of Midtown with.
Yikes.
I loved that band. That's from Mr. Mike Morris.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
And this one's from me.
Where'd
Those
you
are bad
park,
picks, don't
Richard?
worry.
Jesus. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Did you just get that reversed?
Like comedy is way too sacred for me to even attempt. So I got some real shit to say to you instead.
I love it.
And on my way here, I was driving past Lincoln Way and there's a big fucking wreck right in front of the McDonald's. So like immediately my brain's like, all right, thank God my fucking family's right there at that table.
Yeah.
Look around, all these beautiful people, great community, but it always kind of gets your head going. And there's one story in particular Richard told me about a lot of the losses in his life. And he's had a lot of close motherfuckers in his life, not here anymore. But that's his motivation every day. And like recently, like losing somebody, it's a miserable feeling. And the fact that you flip that miserableness into fire and fuel to everything you do, showing your mom 33 new motherfucking places, baby.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the kind of man you are and how you lead, you know? But of all your losses, I'm most grateful for you losing the 2016 election. You would have been a horrible man. But you wasn't.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh,
Real quick, I'm Chris from First Amendment Sound Productions. I was going to do music here, do sound here for Richard. I was going to charge him $300. He goes, well, you get to do sound for Josh Gonzalez. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it for free.
hey.
Give it up. Give it up for Chris. Give it up for Gonzo. That was
That was beautiful.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man, the comedic timing on that was perfect. You had us all right there and just it was beautiful. All right. One more time, make some noise, make some noise. All right. Microphone is open. We've got the bucket here. Who's gonna come up and give Rich a little bit more of this on his birthday? He's asking for it. Who's got it? Come on. Come on, come on.
Oh, we got one.
Yeah, make some noise, everybody. What's your name?
I am Joe DeLombo.
All right, give it up for Joe.
Yeah, I don't have $5, so I'm sending 2 Mexicans to space or whatever. Fuck yeah, viva la raza, bro. Fuck yeah. And yeah, I wasn't almost on Jackass, but I could totally be on Love from the Spectrum because I'm fucking retarded. Just to show you guys how long I've known
I'm Puerto
Rich,
Rican though.
when I met
It's
this
all
guy,
love. We
I
Hispanic.
had fucking beautiful bleached blonde hair like a little fucking surfer kid. God damn, you motherfuckers practiced, huh? I totally did not.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
This fucking city, you motherfuckers. All right. So I'll try to do this to where it's not like a fucking book report, but for those of you that don't know me, you might recognize me from the blotter briefs. I can be a bit of a rascal when I drink, and I'm not a big fan of the fucking law, so. All right, here. So I'm a product of the fucking 80s, and like a lot of us 80s kids, I was introduced to skateboarding by the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Michelangelo. I'm talking about the fucking Foot Clan, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you guys know what I'm talking about when Danny's like, they're trying to show you that it's a bad thing, but this dude takes them to an indoor skate park full of arcade games, and as dudes are doing snake runs, they're getting handed cartons of fucking cigarettes. Dudes are ninja fighting in the background. I'm like, bro, I want to join the fucking. Don't worry, buddy. The Foot Clan. So, yeah. And much like that fucking hideout, our skate park was pretty much the Foot Clan hideout, dude. We'd get dropped off unsupervised. There'd be a little 12-year-old kid smoking cigarettes and fighting in one corner. Some dude with a tattoo around his eye huffing paint under the fucking half pipe. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, we all started noticing this guy taking pictures of all the little kids. And all our fucking parents did too. So luckily for us, Rich wasn't a pedophile.
Luckily.
Because he could have been the Michael Jackson of this town. He didn't have a theme park, but he did work at a pizza joint that played skate videos all day long. And he had a car. Most of our parents didn't give a shit where we were, so we had permission to take us all over the U.S. But like I said, luckily he didn't have an insatiable craving for little boy butts. And he just really loved skateboarding. We weren't left with mental scars in years of therapy. We were left with physical scars and arthritis for the rest of our fucking life. It could have been so easy for you, Rich. So thank you for not being a creeper, dude. But hey, if you decide to keep up with this lifelong politician horse shit, your child human trafficking skills might come in handy later on. Seriously though, Rich, when you asked me to do this, I immediately agreed. Not because I wanted to trash you, but because I support you in everything you do. Like everybody else says, you got $1? This motherfucker brought some hot girl up to me in a balloon dress and was like, $1, you get to pop the balloons. So I just handed her a 50 and just bit all the balloons off her ass cheek. And then he's like, you know what this is for, right? It's like, not a fucking clue, dude.
I don't even care.
It was the ledge that we just got downtown that was so fun for all of us. And this skateboarder that supports it all jackhammered our fucking ledge out to put a splash pad in. I'm like, dude, there's a splash pad at Municipal Pool. It's never open. I've tried to take my nieces and hit on single moms. It's never fucking open. So I was like, all right, you watch, dude. When you build this fucking splash pad and there's some homeless guy just sitting Indian style washing his balls on mess, that's where my money just went, dude. So like I said, dude, I've known this dude forever, and he's always supported me. He's the reason I got as good as I got at skateboarding. And our fucking band, a couple of us are here. Dude, there was ribbon cuttings where this motherfucker was rocking our merch. So that's pretty cool. And Dying Fetus. You ever seen Dying Fetus when somebody's probably like cutting shit for like children to have a better life? Oh, you've been an overall good fucking friend, and I love you, dude. And you've come a long way from being the dude that burned a guy so bad when you worked with Thrasher that he literally broke your foot like a fucking caveman. This guy came up to Rich for talking shit through. This is, like he said, before the internet. This motherfucker printed in a magazine nationwide how much this dude sucked ass. And this dude showed up to a contest, and instead of just fighting him, just walked up and threw a rock at his leg. That really happened.
Damn, Rich.
Deep down, you're still the punk rock skater kid, though. The kid that's in high school back in the day that would take pictures of giant dumps and put them in everybody's lockers. Only now you take pictures shaking hands with huge pieces of shit and they put it in the newspaper. I love you, Rich. Fuck the goddamn government.
That was really good.
I ain't gonna lie, son. I
Hey,
like
he knocked
that
it out the park. That was really good.
Give it up.
He doesn't even
That
do
was
this
a
for a living.
roast.
That was good.
Raw.
That was a good roll.
Even though it was
Fire
put
over
together, it was
here.
still raw.
That was well
That's
together.
amazing. I love it. I love it. All right. Microphone's open. Who's up now? Who's up now? Who's got it? Who's got it? Who's got it? Here we
got
go.
another.
Make some noise.
Sure.
Yeah. Put it wherever you'd like. Where's that gonna go? Oh man. Tell everybody your name.
All right. My name is Charles Bloom. I met this guy 5 years ago. This guy actually kind of voted me in, I guess, to be your planning and development director. Yeah, I'm hated by everyone. I make rules up. I tell people what they can't do. I tell them how many trees they got to plant, parking spaces. Back and angle parking. Yeah, we did that shit. No one's fucked up yet. Talk about that on 17th Street. That hasn't happened.
Who?
Well, anyway, 5 years ago, I met this person, and I met this as an audience member, as a new staff member for the city of Cheyenne. I'm sitting there, and I'm at my first council meeting, admiring City Hall, being, wow, this is very rustic and old. In fact, it's like 1 year younger than me. And I'm not as old as Richard, but that's a good thing, I guess, right? But then there's this Richard Johnson. He's at council. He sits on the end. And it's the end of his term. He's not running for re-election. And this guy would sit here and talk forever and drag the meeting on. And I'm like, holy crap, I got to drive back to Laramie and it's a blizzard. This guy keeps talking. He's talking about everything, going on diatribes of everything he hates and just going crazy.
Love it.
Talk about Civil War stuff. Talking about Civil War stuff all night long. One day I thought it was a Tuesday morning. I'm like, you done? He was done. I think that was the end of his Civil War diatribes and talking and everything on council. He quit it at that time. But anyway, he disappeared for 2 years. I'm like, nice, Richard's gone. Council was so easy. I don't even remember it. We had a pandemic. Everything was gone. It was great. And then all of a sudden, somehow I started to get to know this person. Because before I'm thinking there was 2 years, I'm like, what a dick. What a dick. I'd always say it twice. Because his name's Richard Johnson. Dick. My dad's name is Richard. I thought it was funny when I was little. Once I called him a Richard Noggin. He's like, Charles, and whacked me. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm like, this guy can do it twice. The guy never whacked me. That is true. My dick met this double dick once. It was a dick fest, a sausage party. It was amazing. We were actually up at Warehouse 21 for their grand opening. And my dad, who's a council member as well, he met this Richard and goes, man, that is a different council member than I've ever met before.
Facts.
I've met ones that are politicians, and I've met ones that are there for special interests. But this Richard Johnson, this guy's different. I can't classify him. So he's this third city council member, and he doesn't know how to place them. But he's the only third city council member he's ever met. But that's Richard. He is the most unique. I think he's a eunuch because all we see is dick. Anyway, he's the most unique council member that we have because he's one that works for the people, works for the organizations, all this amazing stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And anyway, over time, I've somehow become this person's friend. I don't know how, but we've had a lot of experiences. There's some experiences that may have not been smart that I'm not going to talk about, like our moment with Elizabeth Smart. I want him to get re-elected, so I'm just going to leave that one there. That's going to stay here with a couple of other
I
people.
love those secrets.
But Elizabeth, I mean, you haven't asked. He's like, well, how do you burn? What was it? How do you burn what?
Because the night that Elizabeth Smart got abducted, I focused on how her mom burned like a grilled cheese sandwich or something. No,
No,
boiled water.
it was like boiled potatoes. That's what it was. Anyway, she smiled and nodded and goes, "Yep, that's that different councilman." But anyway, I remember the one night we went out to go see Cooper Allen. Cooper Allen's a TikTok star. She's gone. She totally knows who Cooper Allen is.
The little girl gone.
TikTok star, does like a whole bunch of mashups of songs. Well, Richard's like, I want to get a picture with him. So he goes there, we meet Cooper Allen, he gets a picture, I take the picture, but he's like, wait, I want to take my shirt off. So he takes his shirt off, and you got big, white, fleshy Richard Johnson all up there with skinny Cooper Allen, who's holding his baseball bat with no nails in it. Richard thought nails would have been better, and he got his picture of a lifetime with Cooper Allen. But that should have been a prelude for what was going to happen later that night. Because for some odd reason, we met some of Laramie County School District's finest. You know those teachers that teach all of our kids because we don't do it as parents anymore? For some reason, there's a group of them. Yeah, they were going to this establishment down on South Greeley Highway just before you can get lottery tickets in Colorado. Something, maybe a den. They should pay for that sponsor, whatever. Anyway,
sponsored by the den. No, go ahead.
So we go in there, and we're just in the back because we had to follow these teachers there because they abducted my wife. So we went in there, and we're sitting there in the back just talking about politics and council and ordinances that we can draft, or he can draft, or he's drafting, or he's drafted, or he wants me to draft. He does lots of that crap. And my wife comes over and goes, "You won't believe this dancer. There is literally, this is bigger than the one-legged dancer at the Green Door. There is this dancer that was lactating for about $10 into people's mouths."
What? Wow.
So I had to grab Richard out. It cost him like $60 and we got out the door.
Wow.
That was absolutely insane. But yeah, that's where the story starts. That stuff happens here in Cheyenne, Vegas. It's a weird place.
Whoa! This is definitely live. This is
But
happening
anyway,
right
the other thing I
now.
have to talk about is this guy has an obsession with Rush. Not the real Rush, the Rush cover band. Some local boys. So every time Rush comes on, he's like, number one, he's like, you got to come to Rush. They're at the Outlaw. We've gone twice now. And he drugged my wife out. My wife does not even know who Rush is. She didn't know Rush. I'm like, should I divorce her? And Richard's like, no, she's good. She's good. But anyway, so we sat here. We went to the Rush concert over and over again. And now whenever Rush is on the radio or Rush is on there, I'm sure to send him a little photo message of Rush on my Sirius satellite radio, or he sends me another thing because Rush is our thing. But it always led me to wonder, why does he like Rush so much? And then I realized it must be because of that whole name thing, that whole Dick Squared. I think he's always rushing to finish. I mean, you've seen the ladies. You got to get out of there quick because those relationships don't last long. Sam, I'm proud of you, by the way. Now, about the relationships, I can tell when Richard is not in a relationship because he is a keyboard warrior. He is sending us work orders, things to do. He has so many different ideas that are just popping up. Lots of different things we need to do. That's where just different things happen. And it just makes me busy. But I could tell when he met Sam because it slowed down just a little bit. But I think Sam, you need to pick up the pace a little bit more because he's still got ideas out there. I want you to occupy this guy more. I don't want any ideas. He wants something about a rental housing ordinance or something. That's gonna kill me. No one knows what's happened with this last multifamily stuff. That wasn't Richard. That was another person in the audience over here and some others. But anyway, that's where it's gonna go. But anyway, really about Richard. Richard is honestly a wonderful guy. He is one of the people here for the people. I really admire my relationship with him. I like that I can talk to him and I can just be outgoing and I can call him up and we can go do whatever. We can go hang out and I don't have to worry about being someone I'm not. Thank you, Richard, for all you do. Thanks for what you do for the community. You're an amazing person. Round of applause for Richard.
That was amazing. Give it up one more
Well, I
time.
ain't gonna lie. Everybody knows this.
Hold
guy.
on.
No, they bringing fire.
They don't
to
just
him.
Did
know
you
it.
guys get the number
they
of the
can't know it.
lactating stripper from the den? Because I genuinely feel like we'd be making a lot more money if she was here.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
It'd be overflowing. It'd be
you had me
overflowing.
worried from like the beginning of that story to the end of that story, because the second you were like, me and my wife went to the den with Richard, and I was like, is he gonna bring back that whole double dicking thing? I'm really worried. Man, that was really good. One more round of applause over here. That's amazing. All right, for those of you just walking in, for anybody here who's walked in going, what in the world is going on? Or for anybody who's tuning in on the internet right now going, what is happening? We are roasting Richard Johnson for his birthday. Richard Johnson is possibly the only politician in the entire country that's like, come talk shit to my face.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, Donald Trump likes it when you do other stuff to his face. Exactly. You read the tabloids. Anyway, the microphone is open. This is your opportunity to tell Rich whatever it is you'd like to tell him for $5. Who's coming up? Oh,
we got another.
That's right. We got the big man. What's up?
I don't got nothing bad to say about you, Rich. All I can tell you, I got to give you guys just a little bit of deals to this dude. For many years, he thought there's been a number of people that thought he was both of my son's father. Not that we look anything alike. I'm an old bastard. Not as old as me. But at any rate, I wanted to just thank you for what you do, because you've always been there supporting my kids ever since the beginning when they was running around doing the shit that they did and the things that you do for the community. You're a good dude. You deserve good shit. And thank you. That's all I had to say, man.
That was beautiful. Make some noise. Make some noise. Now look. Oh, it's coming up. We got someone in the house. All right, man. Turn him up.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah. It's on the page.
So, I know a lot of faces in here working security at the Lincoln. And this guy's a regular. Mike Morris already brought up this little thing about this guy being loud in the theater. And John and Renee know that he's my buddy and my dad. So they say, could you please go talk to Richard? He's up there. He's up there. Bass vocal band is playing. And they will be there now on Friday night. If you're not allowed. He's not allowed. Anyone else, you guys are welcome. An a cappella band is playing. Richard and his buddies are loud. Renee says, could you go talk to Richard? I'm a nice guy. He's my buddy. Richard, you're being loud. Please, for me, can you be a little quiet? He's not quiet. 10 minutes later, another complaint. Okay, dude, I need you to quiet down, please. Third time's a charm, right? So now I gotta be a little mean, and I'm like, Richard, you gotta shut up or I gotta get you out of here. That's not my fault.
He said they wouldn't play Frosty the Snowman.
You didn't tell me this much until after, okay? I'm just doing my job.
Who goes to Sanford's just for drinks, though? That's the question.
So Trinidad and I went to Sanford's for drinks, and then we met some people at Sanford's, and then went over to the Lincoln, and I didn't know it was an acapella group, and I'm drunk as shit.
Wait, what did you get tattooed on your foot?
That's a good question,
That's
too.
what I was about to ask. What was the tattoo?
I got a toe tag.
A what?
A toe tag.
Like when you
I'm
die?
dead.
Like when you
die? So actually, I mean, the county coroner's not here tonight, but she's supposed to actually sign my foot so that Trin can actually tattoo the like I'm literally dead on arrival.
That's impressive.
That's amazing.
It never ends. It never ends. It just
So
gets
to be
better.
fair, I never kicked him out. I couldn't have the heart to do it. Not this guy. He complied a little bit for me, but you know he's coming in because he's loud, and you can hear him coming half a block away. But I love the new employees when they're coming because you know not everybody knows Rich. So they're, can I see your ID, sir?
I'll tell him he knows what's up.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh boy. Yo, that's the best one.
Dell still hasn't got his knife back.
Oh boy.
No, I've met a lot of great people because of you too, and Dell is one of them. And I did get you your knife back, sir. I made sure.
There you go. There you
I
go.
take care of my people, but we did. But we got to take care of all you guys. Just like when Samantha was gonna punch some lady in the face.
Oh, the juice is pouring out the cup.
Yeah. We're
She was gonna punch you in the face, and she was gonna punch her for punching you. Yeah, no. The other, some lady was mad at him for some. Anyway, it's a long story, but I've had to save this guy a couple times, and I'd do it in a heartbeat again. So happy birthday, buddy!
Happy birthday.
Yes, sir. By the way, best impression of the night.
That was a really good one. He was spot on.
Best impression of the night so far.
Yeah, that was
No
excellent.
question.
That was excellent. Jesus, Rich, the more I hear about you and these stories, the more I think that like your mind is what the government puts people through for torture training. You know what I mean? It's like, who in one day is like, I'm gonna get fucked up. I want to hear Frosty the Snowman. I'm going to get a tattoo that I'm already dead. I should help the poor. It's like, what the fuck, Rich? Gosh. It's amazing. I love it. Listen, microphone is open for anybody that wants to come up and roast Rich. And like you've seen, it doesn't have to be a roast. You can come up here, tell him how much you
Say
love
something
him,
positive
tell
if
him
you
how
want
much
to.
you hate him, tell him anything that you've been wanting to tell him for years and years and years. I will give somebody $100 to walk up here and be like, it's me, your son. Oh, we're racing for it. You'll be next. You'll be next.
Here we go. We got another coming up.
Give it up. Make some noise.
I'm your son.
He's like, where's my cash?
Right in there. I really don't have a lot to say. I wrote a bunch of jokes, but they're all personal. Not a lot of people know them. Yeah, the tiki was one of them. Of course, that's predictable. But I just, the first time I ever met Richard Johnson was at the skate park. Typical skateboarder, hood rat, kid out here. And this old dude walks up, and I was like, nice shirt. And he's wearing a skateboard magazine shirt. I didn't know this guy whatsoever. Little did I know his history and the whole community and all that stuff. He goes, yeah, it's all right. You want it? I said, yeah, give it to me. And he literally leaves the skate park and goes and hops in his V-Dub. I think you were driving at the time. Yeah.
Of course he drove a V-Dub.
A little bug.
Of course he did.
Takes off and comes back, and I'm just skateboarding. 15 minutes later, this dude brings me his used sweaty shirt. Pretty cool, though. Pretty cool guy, and time advances and, get involved in the skate community. He throws a skate competition. And, the whole joke is the only thing that's smashable about Richard Johnson, sexually, is his tiki, but nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. We had a fly-out competition. Well, it was a whole competition, a fly-out competition side of it. I fucking come out and I'm a fat boy, portly, as we could tell. Me and Rich are pretty comparable, though, right? I come out and I smash his fucking tiki, and I ruined the whole competition. But he's never let me live it down, so I still feel like I won or lost, however you want to look at it. But anyways, Richard's always been a really fucking cool guy. We've ran into him 1,000 times everywhere you go. It's like he's the plague or coronavirus or something. It's news, pandemic, news, Richard Johnson. But anyways, Richard, you know, like everywhere I've ever been with you, you have a warm community around you, and you're just a really fucking good guy. And I'd be honored to be your fucking son. I'd probably beat your ass, but I'd be loved to be your son. I love you, brother.
That was good.
That was awesome, dude. That was awesome. Make some noise one more time. All right, I saw you coming up. Get on up here.
Man, this just don't stop. It's not gonna stop.
Oh, this should be good.
So this is karaoke night, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, you said you want to do Islands in the Stream as a duo.
No, I think it was Frosty the Snowman is what he wants to hear.
That's right.
There you go, Frosty. So Richard travels in different circles, and some of them are pretty far ellipse from the core of this group. And I tend to be in the outer reaches, I think. Yeah, you used to work for Great Lakes Aviation, didn't you? Yeah. I met him through their frequent survivor program.
Oh.
All right. So I want to make a pitch here. Because one of the things that he does seriously is to try to raise funds for lots of good causes, and this is one of them tonight. So my wife and we're going to match whatever you get in that jar up to.
Wow.
Up to, there's a ceiling limit, $180. So what you need to do is shake us down for $180 by coming up here and roasting him to a crispy crunch.
Yeah.
I like
But
it.
before you get to do that, I get to really embarrass him, because Richard has a serious and scholarly side to him. And this is actually where I know him from. There's a group that was organized by Nate Breen called Constitution Cafe. Nate had the idea, how about we actually read this nation's documents and discuss them intelligently instead of being the screaming assholes who don't know anything other than what's been spewed at them by various media sources.
Yeah.
And Rich has been a part of that from time to time. And it's real interesting because we'll be talking about something, and he'll bring up some arcane battlefield from the Civil War.
Of course.
So that's one of them. The other one is even more out there. It's called Bibles and Beer.
Yeah.
And that was started by Roger McDaniel, and I'm kind of facilitating it now while he's on hiatus for a year. And people actually come up to Uncle Charlie's Tavern, open up a Bible, they bring their own, BYOB. We read a section, and we discuss it like intelligent human beings. And Richard comes up with some interesting perspectives from time to time. And I asked him, I said, where's an atheistic guy like you get such insights? He says, well, I'm naturally curious. And I think that's probably the truth about Richard, is that he's a person who has a lot of curiosity, and he's open-minded, and he listens to people, even people he disagrees with. And that's one of the things that I respect about him.
Yeah.
We didn't get off onto a good start. My wife and I, we were over at the Brew Fest one year, and here comes Richard charging like a rhinoceros with his camera out. Hey, we got to do this selfie together. and my wife's reaction was like, we got to run away. Well, we both got to know Richard a bit better, and he truly has his heart for this city. He may not have won the election, but I still like to call him mayor.
I like that.
And I think this community's richer for having Richard.
Yes.
So I thank you much. Nice. I wish you happy birthday. And folks, you got to come up here and roast him so that you can get at least 180 in that pot so we can match it.
That's amazing. Give it up one more time.
What a donation, what an effort, what a conversation.
You heard it, folks. If we can get up to $180 in it, it's going to be matched.
The
So
bar
that
is
means
set.
you got to come up here, you got to donate, and you can say whatever you want. Rich, what are you doing? Listen, I'm just getting a little worried because my experience of Richard, it was exactly what that gentleman just shared, but it was different when Rich would say, hey, I'm curious, and would pull out his wallet. Never mind.
Yikes.
I'm just playing. What you got? What you got?
Okay, so obviously I not only network in Cheyenne, but I also network in a lot of the communities in Laramie County. If actually this place, well, tonight it could have, but what we did is we actually wrote an entertainment liquor license that went through the state legislature last year. And so I went and spoke in front of the committees. It's actually JB that runs Aces Range was the first beneficiary with the simulated shooting and golfing.
Nice.
And so we went through the legislature. And so besides 6 penny ballots and everything like that, I wrote a resolution, but I did something a little differently. I said, nobody's going to really listen to the city of Cheyenne because we're a large municipality in Wyoming. So I literally asked Pine Bluffs, Burns, and Albin to join with me. So I drafted a resolution, and all 4 of our communities in Laramie County actually supported economic development in the state of Wyoming, and that's why we were able to get these additional liquor licenses. So this $100. So I thank you, Jason, for remembering. So there's a town councilwoman. I think she's like 85 years old. And she always comes in with her walker and she's like always sits next to me. Her name is Judy. She's a town councilwoman in Burns. And so last week when we had our elected officials dinner, which is funny because I got pulled over by the Pine Bluffs Police Department for speeding right in front of the restaurant. And so and it was the new chief of police of Pine Bluffs, mind you. And so he goes, so like normal police interrogation, they're like, what brings you to Pine Bluffs? And I was like, turn around. And he's like, I was like, you see everybody in that restaurant? That's every elected official in Laramie County staring at us right now. And he goes, is my mayor in there? And I'm like, yeah, Justin's right there. Look, he's to the right. He's staring at you right now. And he goes, I was like, do you want to like make an example of me that speeding's not tolerated in Pine Bluffs? And he goes, can I cuff you? And I'm like, yes. But then, so what he was going to do, he goes, Richard, this is how it happens when I get pulled over. Nobody else would be able to get away with this. So the chief of police actually tells me, he goes, Richard, I'm going to take you in there cuffed and say, who wants to claim him? Because I ran his ID and I have several warrants out of Hawaii for him being nude. And so,
which is believable.
So if you ever get stopped in Pine Bluffs for speeding, I doubt it's going to work like it did for me. But all the elected officials got a joke. But I got a birthday card from Judy, the town councilwoman in Burns, and she said, Richard, I can't make it to your roast, but here's $100 for what you're working for. So
love it.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Oh my God. Why is it that all of these stories involve you taking your clothes off? At some point, Rich gets naked in any opportunity, right?
Oh,
and every time they talk about him skateboarding with his shirt off, I just imagine like a potato on a skateboard just rolling down the street. All right, y'all. So listen, microphone's open. This is open. How many more roasters do we got up here? Who's brave enough to make it? Yeah.
He looks well put together. This should be good.
You had me when you were 12. Do you remember? So here's a little extra help to match the Jason's match there.
It's $1,000 in my
amazing. It's a whole $5 grand.
I'm Rick Bites, Rick Bite Johnson. I am the son of, I'm 56, but I'm the son. No, I'm yeah, so I've been the rector for the senior pastor of St. Mark's Episcopal Church for about 18 years. I just started as dean of the cathedral in Laramie. And I'll tell you everywhere. Well, first of all, I'll say, I love your T-shirt. I don't even know fully what it means, but I hate God.
That's what his shirt says. I was trying to tell y'all.
Richard is Richard's the church guy that doesn't really go to church, and or at least that much. And what I mean by that is he's always doing good. I mean, he just always seems to be naked, but he's always seems to be doing good.
Everywhere I go, some people call it the Lord's work, but I just say everywhere I go, he seems to be doing something good, just like tonight. But everywhere I've went as a minister, there's always been a few special people that just kind of make their way into church or hang around the church. In Virginia, there was a guy, Leonard, and I'll tell you, people would look through, like it was in the woods, the church was, and they'd look through this window in the church back in the woods, and Leonard would be back there with a cigarette, and he'd just be looking like this the whole time. And people would be like, who the hell's that out back? I'm like, oh, that's Leonard. He's here a lot, just hanging out outside. And I'll tell you, 20 years later, we still get calls from Leonard about 3 months before his birthday, reminding us that it's his birthday coming up. So if we want to send him something, that's cool. And 3 months before Christmas, he does the same thing. Just like, Christmas is coming up soon. That's Leonard. Here, there's been Neil. Neil comes into the church. There's another guy that comes into the church, and he's got a huge, big, backpack thing, and people get nervous. They wonder what the hell's in there. And he comes walking up, and one guy came walking up during the service, and I'm sitting up there, and someone's reading the Bible, and the guy just comes up to me, and he goes, "I need some prayers right now." And he says it just like that. And everyone's like looking at him. They're looking, and so we talked together, and then he went on his way. And there's just kind of strange people in every community I've been in with the church or around the church. And they're always my favorite people. There are people that go to church that I love, but it's these kind of weirdo type people, these unique people. Well, Richard, you're that person. For Cheyenne, and I've even met him in Laramie already. There's Michael, and I went up to say hi to Michael, and he goes, "Michael, my name's Ezekiel." And next day I went up, yeah. Next time I go up and I'm Ezekiel, and he's like, "No, it's Jeremiah." Yes. And he's like, I call him Jeremiah, and he goes, "My name's Ism." I'm like, what? So anyway, Richard's that dude in Cheyenne, and he'll be sitting in a car sometimes, and I'll be walking along. He's like, "Hey, come on over." And I looked from afar. I'm like, who the hell's calling me over there? And I get closer, and it's Richard sitting in the car, and he just wants to chat for a little bit. He came to our 150th anniversary at St. Mark's. It was totally cool. But politically or just charity-wise or helping people, he's the one doing the church work who just rarely goes to church, and I love him. So, Dad, I love you.
Pleasure.
And so since it's funny, the last two speakers, Jason says, since I'm not a practicing Jew and not Jewish, I can't get married in the synagogue, even though I love the carpet there. So it's funny. So like Sam and I are actually at the Juneteenth festival, and I was like, "Hey, Rick, so if I end up proposing, I'm probably going to need somebody." I was like, "Do you have the restrictions that the synagogue has?" And he's like, "No, I'm good with this." So if I actually do get the courage to actually propose one day, probably after a mayoral run, I'm probably going to be calling Rick again to
I love it.
See me through my next facet of life.
That's about right for you. That's definitely about right.
Hang on, Rich. I just want to, for the paper, I just want to make sure I quoted you right. Richard Johnson loves Jewish carpet. Did I get that right?
That's right. That's right. Exactly what he said.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay. All right. We got it open. We got it open. The microphone's open for anybody brave enough to close us out tonight. Who wants to come up and make some noise? All right.
It's on.
We'll keep it open. We'll keep it open. As long as you keep talking, we'll keep it open.
Oh, shit. You're nervous, aren't you?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This guy. This guy's a piece of shit. This guy came up here, for those of you that just came in, he came up here with his mom and called her Krusty the Clown. You said that's where you got your laugh from. Come on. You called your own mom Krusty the Clown? Oh, that's even worse. Now your mom's Pee Wee Herman. That goes back to the splash pad. Okay. Yeah. You know the difference between you and Krusty the Clown? He's got a real haircut. And clean clothes.
And clean clothes.
That's good. That's good.
No, Richard I don't even think Richard knows this, but the first time we met him, my wife and I were at the Paramount getting a coffee before negotiations. For those of you that don't know, I'm a piece of shit firefighter that goes through contract negotiations. So we're at Paramount getting a coffee to go to negotiations with city council. And Richard Johnson walks by me. I have no clue who he is at the time. And he's, well, I got to go see what these firefighter guys want. And he walks by me and I'm like, the fuck's this homeless guy's problem? The fuck? I didn't do anything to him. I probably picked you up in the park last night. Fucking gave you a hot meal and shit. I'm like, fuck, man. I didn't do anything to the homeless. Yeesh. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's weird. So my wife and I get our coffee. We go off to city council, and all of a sudden we see Richard Johnson guy talking to these other people, and he goes up to a microphone and takes a seat. And I'm like, they fucking let the homeless guy go up to the microphone? I was like, this poor fucking bastard got one Make-A-Wish and he goes to the city council in Cheyenne. That's what your one Make-A-Wish was? City council in Cheyenne. I was like, oh, that's that poor fucking idiot. Wow. I feel bad for that guy. But there he was. And over time, as all of us have realized, Richard's quite a special person. Does everything. And so we decided, well, let's do city council versus firemen at Box City.
Oh, nice.
So we go down to the depot. We have to set up our little homeless shelter and collect money. My wife and my kids, we're making this nice box. It looks like the depot. And all these firefighters are showing up. And I look over at my competition. There's Richard Johnson just drunk on the ground with a box laying over him. I'm like, that's our competition? And sure enough, all of you guys show up and start throwing them money. I'm like, shit, man. Way to go, Rich. 1 you, 0 me. Story of my life.
So funny. So
my wife and kids and I, we fall asleep and we're sitting there freezing, and all of a sudden I hear something going through our bags outside. I'm like, oh, honey, you hear that? There's someone outside. They're going through our stuff. I go out there and check it out, and sure enough, there's some homeless people going through our stuff. And I'm like, hi. And they're like, hey, that homeless guy over there, he's got all kinds of shit. We can take whatever we want, right? I'm like, can't argue with that. Yes. Have whatever you want. They look at Rich, and he's got all kinds of donations. So I'm like, you can have it all. Take it. But we had fun. It was a good time. We've done a lot of charity together and had fun, and I've always appreciated it. I think I had one more story. You know what it is?
Wine in the hot tub.
Oh, yikes.
If you see Richard drunk, there's a good chance he came to my house for free wine.
Yeah.
I make my own wine and it goes to him, just like my money. He's the only person in this world that can say he's taken more of my money than my wife. Yeah. Oh, talking about showing up for wine. That's the last story. Richard shows up one night. Hey, got some wine? Like, you know I do. Come in and grab some. He's like, hey, I posted an article about the fire department. It's all kinds of fucked up. It's got everything. And I was like, when's that come out? And he's like, it's coming out in 20 minutes. And I was like, and you're at my house? Get out of my house. I was like, dude, people are going to think I wrote that article. Like, I'm the biggest asshole on the job. Get out of my house. He's like, they're not going to think that. You're fine. So we break open a bottle of wine. There we are drinking. 7 o'clock. He's like, here it is. Check it out. It came out. Here's the article. There it is. All kinds of stuff. And I'm like, oh, no. My phone's ding, ding, ding. Dial, way to go, asshole. I was like, Rich, take whatever wine you want and get the fuck out, man. And stumbling down the street in Ward 3, he went, just like the rest of us. That's all I got. I love this guy like the rest of us. He's done everything for this community. He's made us all better people. Thank you for who you are and what you've done.
Okay, I have to pay it forward to him because of Andrew's and I's relationship. Me and the firefighters have become thick as thieves in regards to fundraising. I even bought a Christmas tree from them last week for $80. That's why I was at his house getting more wine, is because I ran into him at Station 5. But I have to tell you, like, Andrew and his family are some of the most legit people I've ever met. Like his son, his daughter, his wife. I mean, I was fatter last year, and I thought a little kid ran into me at Heather's birthday party, but it was her like kicking her leg up for me to hold for a photo. And I thought it was a kid running my belly, but really Heather just kicked me in the stomach. But but I swear, like, I mean, Andrew has done the Freedom 5K. If any of you have ever done that, he's pretty much like the organizer behind that. Like I said, we actually friendly compete for homeless awareness. Him and his family and me have like raised probably over $10,000 for Family Promise for homeless things just by sleeping in a box. Like we slept in a box. It was rad, like he said. The firefighters came down to the depot, and then we're like probably more because mind you, they were all off duty that night, and so we're all drinking in the plaza. This is before open container was a thing. So we're all drinking in the plaza, watching some homeless people that we're supposed to be raising funds for get in a fight in the Albany parking lot. And so the firefighters are like, well, we're not law enforcement, but we are EMT certified. So should we just wait and see and then rescue them after they fought? So, but thank God it didn't come to that. But I do have to give Andrew and the Cheyenne Fire Department just mad accolades. Yeah. I mean, I did this fundraiser a couple of years ago for to remove just like with historic Civil War stuff. There was a historic bell called the Clark Horse Fire Bell that used to be over in Johnson the old Johnson Junior High park. It was dilapidated. The sign hadn't even been there since the 1970s. And so Andrew and I like kind of teamed up with Historic Preservation, did this huge fundraising drive. And so we got the Clark Horse Fire Bell restored. It's like this beautiful monument now. They were nice enough. They kept it secret from me. I thought I was just supposed to be promoting for fundraising. But those guys actually at their firefighters dinner and auxiliary presented me with a firefighters challenge coin to show that I was part of the family. And so cool. I have mad love. Even though I talk shit at the Paramount, he would still hear that same goddamn quote out of my mouth today. Like a new firefighter on the field would still think I was homeless at the Paramount. And I was like, fuck, I got to go talk to these firefighter assholes. I mean, it would still come out of my mouth and they would still have the same reaction. Like they'd go and they're like fuck is this guy? But I do have to give them props. Even today, I don't know if they knew it was my birthday, but they must have responded to a call by McGovern. And so I see the ambulance and the fire truck, not a ladder truck, but one of the trucks drive by and they actually blare the horn in front of my house. Like, so it is a shy of respect. I have mad love for I mean, even though Joey's like anti-law, like I do have a really good relationship with the police department, surprisingly as well. But yeah, police, fire, I do want to give all of our first responders a huge shout out, not only for what they do for our community, but also because of what they've done for me and all the charity work. They're always like right there backing me. So thank you so much, you guys.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Mic's open. Who's up?
Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Wes. I had the privilege of moving to town to work for that airline they mentioned earlier. So I've known Richard for close to 15 years now, but I didn't know it at the time, but he started the Great Lakes before I did, and y'all fed into this, reminded me of this story. He was actually the face of Great Lakes and Cheyenne for a little while because he was doing ticket counter work at the airport for. So they decided to put him in the main office with us and give him customer service duties in the call center because he wants to look at this guy. Definitely don't want to be in the face of the organization because, well. But Richard, you worked right outside of my office for years and years, and you got better at it and promoted and did so good for the company and did so good for everything. And you helped make work fun. That was the best thing I can say about this guy. I'd be having a crap day. Something would come up. I'd call Richard. I'd say, hey, can you help me with this? Can you tell me what the hell's going on? I don't use the system enough. I'm trying to make it better. He'd come up with an answer. I'd call our support people. They'd be able to tell me, hey, that's awesome. Thank you for that help. Richard, you were amazing. You also got to sit up in what we called, well, I don't know. I called it hell. A dispatch room at an airline is like the JV room for all the people that couldn't quite be on the starting squad. And now they get to call the plays for all those jocks out there. And they can do, they're kind of, I don't know, bitter in some ways. They have to be professional on the radio. So we got all the dirtiest parts of it. And they'd be calling me going, my computer don't work. And I'd be going, well, what the hell did you do to it this time? Trying to put all those nudie pictures on the screen for that girl who's coming in for the shift after you. I mean, I'm trying to keep you guys from getting your, we didn't want to get HR called. And Richard be calling me going, Wes, can you come fix this computer they broke? They're afraid to call you. Great for a geeky nerd to get the call from the other geeky nerd that the jocks don't want to talk to him. But Richard, thank you so much for all you do. I appreciate. And I also appreciate you had somewhere I don't have to throw my arm out trying to give the money to charity. Happy birthday, brother.
So with Wes, I do have to give props to him. It may not look like it, but with Great Lakes Airlines, when he talks about making work fun, pretty much between him and I and his staff, somehow we saved the company $1 million annually by actually drafting and coming up with through the computer and the software issues to actually make through baggage check-in possible through all this. And
Nice.
so when Frontier United, like we were working with our co-chair partners and everything. And so because I had like even a roughly HTML background, you know, in regards to website development, I told Wes that I could figure out he'd figure out the back end, I'd figure out how it actually was supposed to work. And so when it actually went into production, I took a bag tag and threw it on the CEO's desk. And I was like, and he goes, what's this, Richard? And I was like, according to our customer relations department, this is $1 million in savings annually. And so Wes and I literally within 6 to 7 months of work came up with an entire process for bag tag transfers. So I want to give him props. I mean, granted, our company is not there anymore. We probably would still be there if it was, because it was super fun. I met tons of amazing, awesome people through that, including all the jocks and dispatch that I'm still friends with.
Nice.
But it was an amazing company, and I loved it because our owner was so eccentric that he literally let you go. Like, yeah, he's still eccentric, but it was just awesome, like knowing that you had the ability to explore and try to figure out stuff for yourself, that he just kind of took a back seat, and then pretty much he was just there to sign the check. If you're like, hey, I hit a stone wall, this is going to cause this much money, but I think I can figure it out. He's like, he'd write the check for you right there. And that was a super good company that there's a reason there's a Great Lakes Facebook page. And it basically is, it's like, we're Lakers for life. And it is because of our family that we created there. And I mean, it was just an amazing work environment. So I know Doug's not here to contribute. He's probably in New Mexico or something, but yeah, we did. Wes and I had an amazing relationship and did a lot of really good stuff for a company that was small business.
Nice. And Doug and Mike, if you're watching, thank you guys, and love you, Rich.
Love it. Love it. All right. Who's up next? Make some noise.
All right. I didn't prepare anything today, but I guess I could dredge up a couple of repressed memories talking about Rich here today. Just like many others here, I was Wayward Soul, found my way to the skate park wondering who the hell that guy was taking pictures of all these little kids. Oh, sorry about that. Wondering who the hell this guy was taking pictures of all these little kids and everything until I realized all the cool kids want Rich's attention and everything, you know? So I'm like, oh shit, okay. Well, I didn't get good at skateboarding, so I did the other thing to get Rich's attention, that's get arrested. So I've never seen someone who cares so much about the people getting out of jail because he doesn't want to see your face and know that you're free or that you're okay. He wants a good story.
There you go.
So first things first, Rich, I get out of jail. I'm happy to be free. First thing I see Rich running up to me. He's like, oh, tell me what's going on. Oh, no. I'm like, well, tell him all my woes and tribulations and shit I'm still going through. And he answers with his iconic, fucking rad. You know? I'm like, all right, okay, cool. That laugh is so iconic that 15 years later, in the privacy of my own home, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I hear, I'm like, no fucking way. I go out, I walk outside, I'm like, what the hell's going on out here? Planting trees, of course, rooted in Cheyenne program, planting trees. So instead of getting a good sleep, getting to work on time, I'm getting a lecture from Rich about planting fucking trees and all this shit. So I'm like, all right, okay, that's cool. Fucking rad. But other than that, you know, it just reminded me though, 15 years later, 20 years later, he's still doing the same shit. He teaches people how to fundraise, how to make money, how to make a community better, and all the same time having his thick sense of humor.
Definitely.
Whatever you are. But that's all I pretty much want to say is that he's so iconic that even when, you know, trying to get a night's sleep or, you know, get to work on time, you know, you're reminded about what you should be doing for your community and having that laugh wake you up in the morning. So other than that, Rich, thank you so much.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is so on.
Okay, so
don't no, let's not
Absolutely not.
We're not here for me. Go ahead, Joe.
Jared's wonderful.
Thank you.
No, I'm not going to tell that
That's
story.
that's the first. I walk in. He doesn't even say anything to me. He goes, Jeff White's coming. He goes, I was Dancing with the Stars. I'm like, thanks.
Well, you don't exactly cowboy dance.
I do not.
So you were, you know, I kind of had the advantage.
I was out of my league, and you look much better in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. So
I don't know. According to what my wife told me.
until I said thank you.
Wait, Jared, not Jared.
Oh,
Jared sure dresses up good. So my name's Jeff White. I've been serving with Richard Johnson on city council for 9 years now. And so yeah.
Everybody said I'm sorry.
You guys don't know the half of it. But I'm really happy to be here for Richard's 50th birthday. Thank you all for being here. You're 50. Your kidneys are 60.
At least.
Your lungs are 70. Your vocal cords are like, peace out. We've been dead 20 years. But I just have a couple stories. First time I met Richard, first got on city council, I was appointed to fill a vacant seat. And so I showed up one night to do the interviews. And this guy comes into the office and he's disheveled. He's wearing tennis shoes that are untied. He's wearing a Judas Priest shirt. And he tells me, yeah, this is kind of going to be the process. And so good luck to you. And I'm like, so I go to our office assistant, Chris, at the time, Chris Jones. And I'm like, who the heck was that guy? And she's like, that's Richard Johnson. He's on city council. If you get appointed, you're going to be working with him. And I'm like, I'm going to be working with him? And I got appointed. And one of the greatest things about city council is seeing a project going from conceptual to completion. But I think one of probably the second greatest thing about being on city council is getting to know Richard and working with him all these years.
Yeah.
I've always found it. ironic that his Facebook page when he was first on council was Richard Johnson, you have failed this city.
I love it. I love it.
And he wore that like a badge his first term, badge of honor his first term. But nothing could be more wrong. Richard, everything Richard has done for our community is the complete opposite of failing this city. You know, there's been stories about the how he spearheaded fundraising for the skateboard park, splash pad. I don't know how many of you go downtown in the summertime and when that splash pad's on and you hear the sounds of children laughing and just having fun and being kids. Richard's responsible for that. For whatever reason, you and I get paired up on a lot of volunteer projects. We've been on 3 planting crews together for Rooted in Cheyenne. You and I helped Gabe Lopez with the Greenway cleanup one time. And I got to tell you, this is a good one. We were cleaning Crow Creek. And we were assigned this one stretch that went by an underpass. And so there were some folks that had made this underpass their home, and they had their belongings underneath there, and they even had like a cardboard door up on the one side. And Richard was like, well, what should we do? And I'm like, probably nothing. We probably shouldn't disturb them. They might be busy. He's like, and I'm not going to use the F-bomb, but he's like, screw it, I'm going to go in there. And so he knocks. He literally knocks on the cardboard door, opens it up. There is a half-dressed lady, and Richard goes, housekeeping. That is a true story. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, Richard, you can't do that. And he's like, why? Why can't I? Yeah. I can't tell you how many times over the past 9 years I've looked at this going, Richard, you can't say that. It's like, why? What are they going to do to me?
Fearless.
Right?
Yes.
Isn't this fun, Richard? It's a lot more fun than trying to dodge Marion's car.
Oh, boy.
But no, I can't tell you how. I'll wrap this up, but I can't tell you how many times that on whatever issue, you know, someone in a suit, a lawyer or something comes to the podium and presents an issue, and they just get skewered by Richard. This is a guy that reads city code for fun, which tells you what his mindset is like. Yeah, exactly. But nobody works harder. Nobody is ever more well prepared. He's definitely not failed this city. He's been a great friend to both me and my wife. And he's made me a better councilman. But knowing Richard, I think, I'll leave you with this. As much as I hate to say it in front of all these people, you made me a better person, and I love you dearly.
Amazing. Who do we got next?
It's a real pisser to follow that.
I like the button.
I am Jen Solis. I have a very Hispanic name. However, you might be surprised to know I am not Hispanic at all.
It's all love.
But I have Hispanic children, And I very much support this organization. And thank you, Richard, for also supporting it. Send it to the moon. You can send all 3 of my kids to the moon right now. So I'm going to do what I do every time I see Richard, which is empty my fucking wallet, which is still not enough. So I am Richard's middle-aged mom friend. I have not seen him without his shirt. I will not see him without his shirt. And I thank the Lord every day.
Yes, exactly.
No. I did not have the great fortune of growing up in Cheyenne. I grew up in a town in northern Maine, which is oddly similar to Cheyenne. I knew a lot of guys like Richard. I was a skater girl.
Nice.
I knew a lot of guys like him. It's really cool knowing Richard because all of the guys I knew back then are dead. So this is a fun exercise. I'm like, what could have been? Got a lot of dead friends. I'm a little starstruck. I love you guys. So I know that you don't really know you have a middle-aged mom fan base, but you do. I root for you guys constantly. I listen to your podcast. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I love every word of it.
That's what we're doing for.
I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for all the rappers. I'm rooting for all of it. Honestly, though, the reason I know about you guys is because Richard likes to send me his clippings. Every time he's in the newspaper, he sends me a link to it. So he was on your podcast at one point. So he said, you must listen to this. I did. It was great. And I listen to it still.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I moved to Cheyenne, I moved here with 3 little children. My husband had promoted Cheyenne as a good place to move to because there was a children's museum opening any minute now. My youngest is now 10. But shortly after moving here, I had read an article in the paper about Richard. I thought, okay, he's city councilman, cool, whatever. And then we went to a concert on the square at the depot, and I saw Richard. And I said, that's that councilman. I just read about him in the paper. I pointed him out to my husband. Oh, okay, sure. And then he tripped over a curb. Cigarette fell out of his mouth. Oh no. He picked the cigarette up and continued to smoke it. Impressive. And I thought, what the fuck have you done? Why are we here?
Amazing.
But then I evolved. I got to know Richard through my work at Habitat for Humanity. Sam. At one point, I had come from, don't hate me, please, because I love Cheyenne now. I am from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Sorry. I came here with a career in fundraising and thought I was a big shot and I'd show all of you all how to raise $1 gazillion. Turns out it's easier in Jackson because people just have like $1 billion and they can give you money.
Yeah, that's accurate.
It's a little harder here. So I had watched Richard raise tons and tons of money and thought, how the fuck is this guy doing this? So eventually I thought, let's just call him and have him come over and we'll talk to him about a thing we need to raise money for. So we had him come over to our office and I was a little scared because you were doing this, the bouncing, and he was on his phone, and I thought this is a mess. This won't work. And we were raising money to paint a veteran's house, I think. And he said, "Oh, Van Gogh is a painter. Let's do a Van Gogh fundraiser." And I'm not kidding you. Within a half an hour, there was about 4,000 paintbrushes delivered to Habitat for Humanity.
Nice.
Sam, I'm guaranteeing you there's a box of them somewhere in your office.
Nice.
This was like 7 years ago, by the way. There's so many paintbrushes. So what I learned from that was, okay, I need to learn everything over again. And that's the thing that Richard just taught me, which is first and foremost, you got to love the place you live.
Yeah.
And that is what Richard does best.
Yeah. Big fan.
Yeah.
So there is no place on earth like Cheyenne, Wyoming. I know that now. I did not know that initially, but I've warmed up to you all. And Richard has shown me the way that you love this city and why you love this city and why it fucking matters. And this city matters so much. And that's why I'm so grateful for folks like Richard and Councilman White, who is less exciting, but also awesome for the city.
He said, "I'll take it." Yeah, that's a good thing.
He's the old school councilman that you want on the team. So you know, I want young people. I want Gen X dropouts like me. I want everyone who hates politics to know that when you show up at the fucking polls and vote for guys like Richard, shit gets done.
Yeah.
So let's elect better people. Let's re-elect this guy. Let's elect him to something else if he wants to run for something else. Because it sure as shit isn't boring, right?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Never.
Richard.
Real recognize
Could you
real, and
imagine
you
Richard
looking
as-
familiar.
Could you imagine as a mayor though? Something
That was
like
amazing. That was
At least
amazing.
the mayor.
Make some
It's
noise.
over.
Make some noise.
The next roast will be even more crazier. It'll be in the house.
That's right. That's right.
We're fantasizing a world of Richard being mayor and what it would be like.
Big time.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
That'll be something.
Richard would be like, screw cannabis, cocaine's legal
There
now.
you go.
Okay, so you want to know what it's like if I would be mayor? Charles and I went to a historic preservation conference and ended up at a well, what kind of bar was it? It's called Deviate and it's down in Boulder, and so it's this awesome gay infused liquor. Like there was Lonnie dropped a drink on me, and I like after a lot of infused strawberries. So I will tell you the one thing that's awesome about being like if I was to run for mayor is Patrick. When I asked him, I was like, "What do you think if I actually ran?" He goes, "You're gonna have to quit drinking." But I do want to. I mean, I was on my phone like a millennial, like when I met with Jen and them at Habitat for that project, and so they thought I was literally super disengaged. And so I actually can multitask. I learned that from Great Lakes. And so all of a sudden I just told him, I was like, I already created the event. I was like, I already came up with the game plan, the marketing thing in regards to Van Gogh. And then literally like she said, within 30 minutes, I already had people 30 minutes. Like I literally had, that many paintbrushes just donated. The
Nice.
fastest one I've ever done though was when I did for Safe Harbor. And so I literally did what was called the speed of light. And so I was going to take care of, they asked me to replace all their light bulbs. So I looked at the speed of light and asked for like about 4,000 some, LED lights. So an electrician called me and said, I don't want to be known. I want to do this completely anonymously. Went in and basically calculated how much the speed of light, how many light bulbs it would take, redid all their fans, redid all their computer lighting, redid their entire electrical work for the entire Safe Harbor. This took place in 15 minutes after I'd started the fundraiser.
That's crazy.
And he literally, because it came in that the cost of this was going to be like $7,000, the actual work to do that was only $4,000. So he actually wrote a check to Safe Harbor for the entire amount of what those light bulbs are going to cost. And I did that in 15 minutes.
Beautiful.
And it's just like,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. So
Results.
I mean, I kind of stepped back. It's weird. I talked with Sam about this a couple of days ago in regards to like philanthropy and stuff. And so I've talked to Nick Dotson, who does a lot of stuff for Safe House, and he does a lot of stuff for the Beer Fest and everything. And I've also talked to Alf about this. And because of the way that we work, I've always asked them, I was like, do you ever feel like you're being taken advantage of? And so with all the Thankful Thursdays and with what Nick does through Midas, I didn't know this, but Nick gets emails, requests, and this might shock you. When he was running Midas, he gets $32,000 a month in requests for nonprofits in like our community. I mean that.
Wow.
So you're taking that times 12. That's how much money people are asking for like business leaders. So like when Jen says that it's easier to find money in Jackson, we're hitting the same sources. And so the reason, and I will tell you the reason I'm so successful in regards to my fundraising is if you look around this room, there is so many different walks of life that I cross so many subsectors of
facts.
society and I realized, like, I learned this from the skate park. I did my mom actually said that we should do like the minimal amount. So we did an event called Pennies from Heaven. So we stood on the street corner right by the out. Yeah, yeah. So like they were with me, but they were a lot younger then. They didn't even have facial hair. Yeah, here's a 30-year-old guy with a bunch of 12 to 15-year-olds standing on a curb, and like the best part about it is we just literally told people, they're like, "What are you fundraising for?" We're like, "The skate park," and they're like, "Well, what do you want?" And we're like, "The coins in your ashtray." This is when ashtrays are actually a thing, and so literally people would just huck change out the door at us, and we go when the light would turn red, we go pick it out, and then I have to, because of this building and because he's right across the street, Brian Casey from Mr. B's HVAC, his son Clay actually skateboarded, and so Brian knew me from elementary school. He stops by, he goes, "Richard, how long are you gonna be here?" And I was like, "Oh, a couple hours," and then he came back with over $100 in rolled coins that he'd just been saving. He's like, "Here's your pennies from heaven." And so, I mean, every day, like the city clerk was so frustrated with me, they had me actually go to the bank because I would just drop like rolls and rolls of coins on it.
They're like, what the fuck, guy?
That's how the city clerk's office actually knew who I was. I was dropping over $1,000 a week.
In pennies?
Well, not in pennies. I actually went and got it through my bank after the clerk's office was pissed. But it's the same thing like in my recent endeavor, because I learned everything I knew about politics, going through like finance committee, going in front of council, learning the appropriation, learning how to work with Parks and Rec and the clerk's office and the treasurer's office and all these. I learned as I was going. It was all on the job training through the skate park. And then he's not here tonight. I wish he was, but I had the best. Like everybody can talk shit about the splash pad, and I told Joey that he was going to Snapchat me because he was going to be the naked guy getting his balls sprayed on the splash pad. So he actually gave me not only $50 to pop balloons, he gave me $20 in front of the crowd when he was on a smoke break.
I love it.
So he's actually down for me for 70 for the splash pad. But really what it comes down to is I even got a donation from the homeless people. I was like going to count rocks and stuff at the splash pad, and the homeless people actually gave me $8 when I told them what I was going to do it. One of the raddest stories that we have about the skate park is my friend Brian, who was just here last week from Phoenix. He and I were the best panhandlers that I've ever met. And so we hit up a homeless dude that had just got off the train in the Depot Plaza. And so we hit him up, and he was going to ask us for money, but we asked him first, so he gave it to us. And so he gave us 87 cents. And at the time, Mayor Spiker was touting, because I know I'm always taking selfies and promoting myself, braggadocio asshole. But when it came down to it, Jack Spiker was always like touting how much he had given out of his campaign fund towards the skate park. But when you actually equated to how much Jack Spiker was making as mayor compared to what this homeless person was making, 87 cents came to more in his gross income than what the mayor was doing. And so what we did is so all of a sudden we met him, and I can still remember his name, and this is granted in 2004. His name was Hillbilly Butch, and he had just got out of jail in Longmont. He remembered seeing the skate park in Longmont that had just been built. And so Hillbilly Butch is like, "All right, here's 87 cents. And I was like, "You know what I'm going to do for you tonight?" I was like, "I'm going to raise," because I knew that the donation bricks were about $125 a piece. And I was like, "I'm going to raise $125 in your name, and you're going to be memorized in the skate park. So if you go up to the skate park and look at the pedestal, you will see a brick up there for Hillbilly Butch, a homeless man who donated me 87 cents.
Again,
There's
sorry,
a Hillbilly
I'm
Butch.
just-
That's
I-
amazing.
I'm annotating tonight. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, so he forgot to tell you about him and Brian Olson being the best panhandlers ever. Brian didn't give a shit. We had a thing that we called the wishing well at the Crown Underground, and dudes would just toss all their change into a urinal. Brian walks out with a hoodie like this, soaking wet, and he goes, "Skate park, bud," and just dumps a bunch of change into Rich's jar. So yeah, these guys, they went above and beyond for us to have an awesome skate park. So we just had to add that.
Dude, that's crazy. Brian, I know Brian really well. And one time we had a party when we had like this house party with all these bands, and it was sweet and it was really, really fun, but it got way too out of hand. And we had like a children's swimming pool that we had filled with jungle juice.
Love it.
Yeah, you remember that? Do you remember this party? Okay, so we had a swimming pool we filled with jungle juice, and then we moved it out back, And all the people that we didn't know were having their own party in the backyard until 4 o'clock. And we were like, we need to get these guys out of here. And Brian Olsen goes, I'm on it. And he walks outside and just pisses in the swimming pool. And we look outside and he's peeing in the pool going, "Party's over, fuckers." That dude gets shit done.
That didn't work. I watched 6 more sluts oil wrestle in pee-pee pool in the backyard while me and Jim went inside and just stole all you guys' beer. Then everybody left. So yeah, that pee did not work, bro.
Anyway, Rich, again, like I said, I'm taking annotation for we're recapping all of this in the Wyoming Tribune Eagle tomorrow. I just want to make sure I'm quoting you right. Richard Johnson takes money from homeless people. Did I get that? Okay. So far, we have Richard Johnson loves Jewish carpet, and Richard Johnson takes money from the homeless. I love it. Who's up next? Who's up next? Oh, wait.
Okay, I have some money from me giving to my own organization, which is awesome, and also from Nat. And when she got here, she said, well, has anybody done the name jokes? I said, oh yeah, the double penis jokes. That was like right out of the gate.
Right.
Anyways, I'm Rachel Martinez. I'm the president of Hope, and born and raised in Wyoming, raised in Cheyenne. So I love this community. And I don't mean to brag, but I can still fit into the earrings I wore in high school.
Yeah. You go, girl.
Right? Graduated Central High School. So anyways, so I've been on the block in this community, and I lived in Laramie. I went to college in Laramie and lived there for a while. And when I came back to Cheyenne, I was looking to get involved, right, in nonprofits. I've done nonprofit work most of my adult professional life. But that's not how I met Richard. I had a friend, she shall remain unnamed. He was like, I'm kind of messing around with this guy. Pre-Sam, okay? This is years ago. And I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, cool, who's this guy, right? And then we ran into him, and I was like, no, that can't be the guy. Like, yeah, just kind of, seeing how things go. And I'm like, seriously? Like, what the fuck? But anyways, also, I do know that it's very expensive to send Mexicans to space. So please give us more money, because I do know a couple who do want to go to space.
Yes.
And I don't know if Elon Musk supports Mexicans going to space, but he should. So anyways.
We got to tag Elon
I'm
Musk.
all about that.
That's right. Elon, we're calling you out.
Before I started really knowing Richard, this is a chat room conversation with Richard, which may or may not be real. Okay.
Like
1 o'clock in the morning.
No way.
Yikes.
Get indicted.
Hey, Richard. Hey, Richard, how's it going? Hey. What, Richard? What's up? You okay? What are you doing? Richard, I'm trying to sleep. It's 1 a.m. I can help with that. Richard, my husband, can help me with that too. A little bit of a pause. Hey. Richard, what? Can I get your friend's number? Richard, no, go to sleep. So anyways, we've had a little bit of double relationship.
Oh my
Fearless.
Quite the wordsmith.
Yeah.
Fearless.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got involved in some nonprofit work, Habitat for Humanity, Family Promise, and I started hearing the name Richard, and I was like, oh my God, is that the same guy that my friend, was like talking about? And I was like, really? But, Richard was awesome, and he's just been everywhere. It was like anywhere that I went, tried to raise money, trying to do things, there's Richard, right? And so I was director of Family Promise for a while. Lots of love to Charles. Really appreciate you doing a lot of things. There's a lot of barriers to helping homeless people get fucking housing in this town. So anyways, let's live. And I started talking to Richard, and Richard was doing this fundraising stuff long before I got here, but he would call me up and I'd be like, okay, Richard, like, let's see what you can do. And he's like, okay, hear me out. We're going to get these beds on wheels. We're all going to be naked. Okay. We're going to just have this naked bed race down the street. And I'm like, okay, Richard, it's probably going to work, right? Like, you just throw these things out and see what they would stick, and they would stick most of the time.
Wait, did that one stick?
Yeah.
It did not.
Thank
stick.
God.
There
All
was
right.
a city liability in the
Yeah,
naked
yeah.
bed racing, but I'm just like, okay, hear this guy out, because everything that he would do would raise money. So I started seeing him and just everywhere, right? Like, you're fucking planting trees too. Like, what the hell? So I don't know if he ever sleeps, but we just, we became fast friends, not because of my friend who shall remain unnamed, but just because of our work in nonprofits. Okay, here's a true story about today. I am the freaking president of Hope, right? Hope organization. And I was just on his Facebook, and I'm like, oh, he's having a fundraiser. I didn't talk to you I was here last night for Unaccompanied Student Initiative. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this fundraiser stuff tomorrow. I'm like, cool. And I'm on the Facebook, and then he's like, yeah, come out and roast me for a good cause. Hey, Richard, what cause? The Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund. I'm like, what the F? Me. So of course I call him up, and I'm like, Richard. And he's like,
what a
yeah, I told
blessing.
your
Yes, that's awesome.
person, months ago. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, he's like, yeah, I went to your website. I'm like, did you not see my face plastered all over it? Okay. Anyways, so I appreciate it because, he just does it. He doesn't ask permission. He just knows that organizations need help, and he freaking does it. And so, anyways, I just really appreciate that. I also know that not only was he supporting all of the nonprofits that I was working for, Family Promise, but I had somebody call me and they said, hey, we want to do a sleeping bag drive. You remember that when I called you about the sleeping bags? He's like, God damn it, Rachel, have you ever fished a sleeping bag out of the river? Actually, no, I haven't. So he's like, no, I'm not raising money for sleeping bags, but we did compromise and come up with, he's like, what is this place trying to do? What are they doing? And that's just it. If he didn't want to raise money for sleeping bags, he would try to find another way to raise funds. So I just really appreciate that. Richard, you've always been down to just help for whatever, and ask questions. And, somebody else raised a good question about it shouldn't be about politics, right? I mean,
yeah.
If you're conservative, if you're not conservative, whatever, you just fucking do what's right for the people.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Amen.
I absolutely need more of that. Because it doesn't matter. I don't even freaking know. His political party is Wyoming. His community of Cheyenne.
Yes.
I can really appreciate that.
Facts.
And so, I belong to. I'm also why wasn't Marion here? Marion Orr, she just wasn't here. Oh, she's okay. She couldn't be here tonight. But anyways, and he's still, he raised a lot of money for the splash park, but I do know that he really wanted that splash park named after him. You wanted the splash park named after you. I think we should try to make that happen. The Richard Johnson splash park. Anyways, I really appreciate you. I'm so glad that you're down to do whatever. So we sang happy birthday to you in English, but I'd like to sing happy birthday to you in
Spanish.
Las Mañanitas. So if anyone else knows this song, but I'm not the best singer. I can do a pretty mean Miranda Lambert karaoke song every now and then, but this is called Las Mañanitas. So, estas son las mañanitas que cantaba Rey David. Hoy per ser tu santo, te las cantamos a ti. Despierta, mi bien, despierta. Mira que ya amaneció. Las pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Happy birthday.
I ain't gonna lie, son. I felt like I was at a boxing match.
That was dope.
I ain't gonna lie.
That was amazing.
That was nice.
Just throwing this out. Just throwing this out.
Yeah.
The penis splash party.
Ah, there it is.
Okay, there is a backstory to this. So we did this stupid ordinance thing about naming of public places, and I absolutely despise it. I would prefer, I think it's pompous to have things, so I just wanted to name ABC 1, 2, 3. And so it's funny that she brings that up in regards to splash pads. So all of a sudden, Pete Laybourne sits to my right, Dr. Rennie sits to my left, and Pete leads over to me and chuckles, and he goes, I'm going to draft a resolution to name the splash pad after you. Granted, this is on the dais. Thank God I didn't have a live mic. Like I did during the non-discrimination resolution. That one got me in trouble because he was like, the interim city attorney said something in my ear. My mic was live, and I was like, yeah, no shit. So, but anyways, back to this. So Pete tells me, and he's at my right side. Dr. Eddie's like listening. This is on the dais, so we're supposed to be focusing on, the important city issues like some zoning or annexation stuff. And I'll send Pete after Pete goes, Rich, I'm going to make a resolution to name the splash pad after you. So in my quietest voice, I'm like, don't you damn do that. I don't want a damn splash pad named after you. Rennie hears that, and Rennie leans over and he goes, Pete, if you do a resolution to name the splash pad after Richard, I'll co-sponsor it. So I'm like, and so granted, we're supposed to be focusing on what the mayor said, and I'm like, so I go back and forth, and I'm like, fuck you both. But to answer Jared's question, yes, it actually did happen as far as sticking. There is a thing called the Undies Run that happens on Valentine's Day where people are pretty much all naked.
Well, there we go. All right.
Yeah, so that did happen.
Somewhat naked.
Yeah, somewhat naked.
We'll take
and
it.
then also, with the bed race, it did happen. I worked with Catherine at Big Brothers Big Sisters at the time. We did like 3 skateboard contests together in the depot, and then I teamed up with her for the first time. So the bed race actually did come through Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then the Undies Run. So there was a hybrid, but not combined.
I love it.
And
We'll
then
take it.
I did want to say why I picked the Hope
Continuous
Hispanic
effort.
Scholarship. So she's not here tonight, but Ed Redmond has been a friend of mine for a long time. She was one of the people that really was involved in the Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund. And so Ann asked me like in 2017 if I would help her do a fundraise for the Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund. And so I came up with the idea of doing a beer mile. And so I was good. And so it was funny. He's now Sheriff Kozak was all about it because I was like, hey, can I have some motorcade cops just like make sure that when my runners are going for a mile and they're slamming beer every quarter mile that that they actually make it safely. And Kozak's like, Richard, I'm going to be in the mile with them. I was like, I just need a couple of people on the motorcade. So Ann and I tried to do this beer mile thing, and I tried to do it between bars to bars. So I wanted to do it like between Old Chicago and Peppermill and stuff like that and everything. And the city attorney, who's now the DA, she like shot me down every single time. She came up with a good idea, now it's funny because last night I was at a horse track discussion in the Avenues because in case you didn't see it, Frontier Days is actually going to try to build a horse track,
Nice.
a legit company out of Illinois that does like video poker and stuff like that. This is the first attempt to redo the track and redo the stables, and so there actually might be legitimate horse racing. So instead of constituents coming up to me and saying, Richard, how do we stop this? I'm like telling the CEO of CFD, I was like, I'm going to be there on Sunday afternoon for that trifecta. So he knows where my vote sits. And then it was funny because I thought I was supposed to go look at the layout of the track. That's what I thought the meeting was about, not neighbors screaming at everybody. And so I went there, and then poor Jeff, wherever he's at, if he's still here. So Jeff's trying to be serious with a constituent. And I go up and interrupt his conversation. I was like, hey, Jeff, you want to go to the Derby Club with me? So poor Jeff, he's always like my scapegoat, but I love him to death. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I really have always wanted to help the Hope Hispanic Scholarship Fund because my beer mile failed. I originally wanted this to go towards childhood literacy and book scholarships, but the person that was in touch with that never got back with me. So I just wrote to Ann and I was like, I owe you a solid from 2017. My 50th birthday is dedicated to you. So that's why we're doing it.
I love it.
What a guy.
That was amazing.
What a
The thing
guy.
is, though,
First, you're talking about how he comes up with this idea, of course, again, to get naked.
Of course.
Of course. And then
Again.
that's and I don't know if this was a Freudian slip, but maybe the phrasing after Richard just likes to pull things out and see where it sticks. Maybe not the best phrasing. Also, it sounds like that's what he was trying to do in that text message. too.
Exactly.
So, just saying, you know what I mean? Just bringing it in. All right, speaking of bringing it in, who else do we got? Who else is coming up? Let's see. Back at it again.
I just got a quick one because Samantha's here now. So just so you know, she's not a cardboard cutout. She's not inflatable. She's real. She doesn't have a Russian accent. She didn't come from a different country. She didn't pick up at a homeless shelter. She is real. She's cute. She's nice. I might get skanked, shafted in the parking lot later, but it's okay. Shaked, whatever. But she's real. It's all right. All right, that's all I had.
All right. Oh, we got
Oh, we
another.
got
We got another.
more.
Hit it up.
So I don't have another $5, but this is $1. I don't know how many fucking pesos that is, but I think it's a bunch. I forgot a joke, but Sam wasn't here. So you missed all the shit when everybody was burning your fucking dude for being a pedophile and telling him that he only fucks young chicks. I was gonna say, somebody hand that bitch a Sharpie so she can draw angry eyebrows over everything I say for the next 15 minutes. I just had to. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Sam.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God.
Lonnie. Come on, Lonnie. Everybody yell at Lonnie.
Let's go, Lonnie. I like your sweatshirt.
Thank you. All right, so I'm rather new to Cheyenne. I've been here almost under 2 years. And first day of work, it was a historic preservation board. So I was like, all right. And that's the first time I met Richard. I'm like, all right, so this is a city council member, like, initial thoughts, like he's going to be really stoic and well put together. And I'm like, holy fuck, who is this? And so I get to know Richard more and more. And then we end up going to this historic preservation conference in Boulder. He's kind of mentioned it a little bit. We went to this one gay bar. We got really drunk, and then I spilled a drink on him. And the next day, Richard was just really sick. I'm like, oh fuck. And I don't know what it was, but it wasn't me, hopefully. No, so I know, Richard and I have gotten decently close. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Might be his son, might not. Yeah, I'm like, it probably could be. I don't know. I haven't really tested my parents' DNA, so who knows? No, so I don't know. Richard's really great. Getting to know him has really shown me how much this community cares about him and how much he cares about the community. I'm from Wyoming, Laramie, Wyoming, so probably college town, and it's nice being in Cheyenne, but I don't really have much bad to say about Richard besides
yet.
Yeah. I mean, there's general things, but nothing too terrible. Overall, he's just a great guy, and I'm glad to get to know him more and more, and I hope he stays on council. It's still kind of astonishes me that he is on council, but I mean, hearing all the stories and seeing what he actually does actually makes up for it. So
yeah,
really glad that you're here, Richard, and happy birthday.
Hey.
That's amazing.
So I know I'm going to get this wrong. So how many fishing rods do you have? And what am I supposed to do with these fishing rods? Oh. All right. So, Wes, tell him, what am I supposed to do with these fishing rods? Okay.
No bullshit. Hey, you asked me to say that. Yeah,
Oh.
no bullshit. I'm a vet. If nothing else, I'll go to the VA after.
Okay.
What's this, an exchange show now? We're selling muskets, guns, and fishing rods.
And what's the number for that?
I don't know.
What's the number for that?
Tell me you're at an event for Richard Johnson without telling me you're at an event for Richard Johnson. So I went to the rail spur, and there was a politician. We were talking about how much he's done for the town. And he asked some of his friends about a fishing pole, and it turned into an arms and drug deal. Publicly in front of everybody.
We all heard it.
In the thing. And Richard's like, this is why I brought you all here. Is that true, Richard? Tell us about your experience on shrooms. How long did they last for you?
It actually happened. God, I'm 50 now.
He's just coming off of them. Oh, shit.
I was checking to see if my mom was still here.
She already knows the story. I told my mom all kinds of crazy shit
because she's my best audience. And so it's funny. So when I was 14, like my homies that went back to Colorado, when I was 14, we all started smoking, watching tons of pornography, and doing what normal teenage kids do.
Nice.
So my dad was in Indiana at the time for the National Guard, and so my mom got left with us, and so she single mommed us for the entire summer when we were 14 years old, and it was hell on wheels. Then my mom went and actually got a job in North Carolina, and my dad had to take care of us pretty much when we were 21. And so we went to the Grateful Dead happened to be playing the night. And I didn't go down for that show, but my buddies brought me up a bag of shrooms for my 21st birthday. And so the only effect, I don't know how long it lasted, but all I could think about was that I was in the Lawnmower Man and everything turned into balls. And then my sister's in front of me. She knows I'm tripping balls. And then she just keeps flicking this lighter in front of me, and it was driving me insane. My poor sister, I mean, she texted me this morning, she's like, you made it to this milestone. I was there when she got her first tattoo, so she backs me. I back her when she did that. She took care of me after I ate acid.
Richard, you still haven't come down, bro.
Exactly. He's still up there.
You are the poster child of when they tell you don't take hallucinogens. Like, I'm seeing the before and after right now. Like, I once was a 21-year-old Civil War historian. And all it took was a little mushrooms reefer and pornography. And now I'm in politics.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God. Oh, this is too much fun. Do we have any more roasters coming up? Do we got anyone else coming up to the table? All right.
Hi, I'm Dale. I've known Richard forever. Well, it feels like forever. It's been like more like 5 or 6 years. But anyway, so people comment, even people from out of town comment that we have a homeless city councilman. But really, have you seen him in a shirt and tie? This looks much better. So coming to Cheyenne, not that many years ago, probably 9 or whatever it was, I've met a lot of people because of Richard. Like if you go to a concert with Richard, you're on your own. You have to meet people because it's like, hey, I'll meet you at the end of the concert. He walks around. So we took a friend's son to a concert, and he's like, we got to find Richard. I said, why? Well, he's not here. I said, he's never here. He'll show up at the end. Don't worry about it. And he did. He did for sure. Anyway, he's been a good friend of mine. He's taught me a lot about how things work in Cheyenne, what happens here. It's been really good to know. He's one of the most centered, focused people I know that comes in a package that twitches and turns and if you have a Richard Johnson story in a conversation, it's surreal because you're actually doing three things at once, and you're listening to three stories at once. You just have to, okay, that's the first story. No, that's the third story. That's just kind of the way he is. But yeah, he's a solid guy. He's a good friend of mine. Just want to say that.
Yeah. Amazing.
Hey, Stephanie, I want to see you do your stand-up since I always miss it at Dillinger's. And this one, I will pay the $5 for. Stephanie, come up and do 2 minutes of stand-up.
Let's go. Buddy. It's so good to see you. I don't have my glasses on. I didn't see you over there. Come on up. Make some noise. Seasoned local stand-up vet.
I'm Stephanie. I can't tell you any stories because Richard is my client. I'm the city attorney. So I literally cannot tell you anything at all. So, but I can tell you that Richard, as was mentioned before, he often reaches out to staff, usually at about 2 a.m. And usually what happens when I see that text message is like, fucking Richard. So, anyway, appreciate you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man, that's great. oh, nah. That used to kill it. Used to kill it. You were wait, Rich. You were in Starship Troopers. Which bug?
Yeesh.
Let that stick. I thought you'd like that. You did. I appreciate that. I tried to spike it down.
Okay, so this is so stupid. So we went to this band called Earth Crisis the night before. It's a hardcore band that played here. And so all of a sudden there's an ad in the newspaper to go and audition to be in a movie. There was a sci-fi movie. So we went and did it, and I had my head shaved at the time, so I made it right through as a futuristic soldier when they did it. But it was crazy because like on the caller ID at the pizza place we worked at, it said like Alien Bug Productions or something on the caller ID, and I'm like, oh, well, this is gonna be a weird order. So I answer it, and then like the call was for me at that time. They're like, hey Richard, you got hired. We need you in Casper at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And I'm like, shit, I get off at midnight. And then Juice was with me at the time, and I'm like, hey, check this other guy and see if because he auditioned with me. And I was like, check if his name's on there, and we'll drive up together. And so I took a whole bunch of NOTOs, like trucker speed, and then like drove up to Casper. And like I was exhausted. I'd been up for like 40 hours. And so they like it was so dumb. Like I had to we had to like, do the whole, they acted like we were in Marine training, I had to call it my weapon or rifle instead of a gun and all this. I'm like, I'm an extra. So we're in our futuristic space gear, the helmet, the gray suit, all that stuff that you see running around. And so all of a sudden, like, this is like kind of boot camp. And then it's in Hell's Half Acre. So it's kind of getting rainy and it was in spring. And so I'm like trying to run up this hill. And it was the first time I'd ever like fainted. And so like, all I just remember is my knees just buckling and stuff. Like all of a sudden I was like, and then all of a sudden, like everything just went out. And I smashed my face on a rock and my futuristic space helmet got all dented. And so then all of a sudden everyone's like, Richard, can I see you in the movie? No, I was so sick of it. And so like, and then, cause like Doogie Howser was an asshole. So, I'll just come out and say it. Like he was so if you ever watch the movie, like Casper Van Dien, super sick ass dude, like him and Jake Busey, Gary Busey kid, come around smoking cigars, like swap stories and stuff. All the like Denise Richards and the other chick, never even saw them. But like Casper Van Dien and Jake Busey were like super cool and came and like just worked around the crew. And there's 300 of us. And I tell you, the one thing I really appreciate about Starship Troopers is you had 300 kids that were literally like between 19 and 23 from all over Wyoming. And so I heard, of course, the joke that a lot of people tell now. So I met this guy from the reservation. His name was Kills on Top. No last name. That was his name. His name was Kills on Top. And so Kills on Top's telling me a story. And yeah, we may have been high in a van listening to a Sublime tape that was ripped. and it sounded like something not sublime. But we're sitting in the van getting high and stuff, and then Kills on Top tells me this awesome joke. He goes, "Hey, did you see that girl that was running?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know what I asked her?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And he goes, "I've been noticing you." He goes, "Do you have a little Indian in you?" And she's like, "No." And he goes, "Would you like to?" And it was the first time I ever heard that joke. So of course it was way funny. So I was like, this is so sick. So I'm actually friends with this guy, Al, still in Cheyenne. He was my locker mate and stuff. And so after we learned the routine, and I smoked even then. And so all my futuristic bat space belt was filled with disposable cameras and cigarettes and stuff. We pulled all the foam out and put all our crap in so we could take pictures. And it's rad. My friend Mike Burnett, because as Joey alluded to, I did work for Thrasher magazine from like 2000 to 2003. And so Mike Burnett, he lived in Boulder and we became really good friends. And he's now the editor of Thrasher. And so Mike used to do a fanzine like I did. And so we wrote this story for it about Starship Troopers. And then one of the few pictures that actually survived is me like lighting a cigarette in my space or Starship Troopers uniform. And Mike just wrote on it, it's like, "Rich looks for his space cigs." But like it was a crappy experience. Like we made like $5 an hour. So I was actually making more money delivering pizzas than that. And so that sucked, driving up to Casper and stuff. And so my friend that just left, I ended up monitoring him, and then I wasn't even tripping. He ate a bunch of acid, and we ended up at that natural bridge, like south of Casper, and then we ended up on Casper Mountain. And I was like trying to take care of him. We got lost in the woods, and then all of a sudden I like parked at this overview to look over Casper, and it literally looked like these headlights were coming out of the mountain. And I was like, I did not even drop, and I'm like tripping right now. And then it was funny because that's where the road ended, and so this car just came and turned around, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is so weird. But yeah, Starship Troopers was absolutely awful. Like, anybody that you talk to, it was just a terrible experience. I love it. And yeah, I mean, but that's my life. It's like, I'll be behind the scenes. Yes, I was right behind the brain bug, but really I was just smoking behind the rocks. And I didn't even care about it. But the food was good. You want to talk about amazing food? The catering. Holy shit, like catering next to none. Like that was the best part about being in a movie.
Nice.
Give it up for our world famous Rich Johnson here. If you would have answered his text message, you would have found out if he kills on top. Just thinking about that. All right. We're dwindling down. Do we have anybody else coming up to roast the mighty Rich Johnson? Holding it up. Going once, going twice. Let's see. Hang on. We'll check the chat. We'll check the chat to see if anybody's on there. Mostly it's just like, I mean, how many times can you say the words "fuck Richard Johnson" on a thread?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like, guys, come on. We're looking for roasts here. Yeah, exactly. Come to the open mic, pay $5 and talk that shit. Come on. All right, we're going to check the internet stuff. We got a roaster here. Everybody make some noise.
All right. Hi, dickhead. I said, hi, dickhead. All right, I'm actually going to make this pretty short and sweet. Mostly just because I'm stealing John T's money to be able to go up and say this is for a good cause. Fuck you, Richard Johnson. Beautiful. Honestly, I love this dude. But quit calling me sweetie at work. It's getting weird. I mean, I already have to deal with you at the Lincoln. I'm a bartender. I can hear you from the balcony. Like, and also, by the way, Frosty the Snowman, fucking overrated. Get over it. I can hear you from downstairs. Like, oh, Richard's here again. You can go fuck yourself. You see what I have to do?
I know. I'm sorry.
I bartend 4 places here in town. I get to see him like every single one of them. In fact, I'm going to see half of you assholes tomorrow. John, you can take that $5 out of your tip for me tomorrow. It's going to be fine. All right, that's it. Richard, love you. A little bit more for the cause. Yeah. So,
Okay, so this is for Ted, and this is for Sam. Hey, Ted, a dung beetle walks up to the bar. Is this stool taken?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But Ted is actually a gentleman. He held the door open for Nat, and she thanked him. So thank you, Ted, for being a gentleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Why Original Podcast, Mr. Jared Burton.
All right, so I actually don't know Richard that well. I'm not from Wyoming at all, but so he was one of our first guests, right? I think we agreed he was our
Very first guest
very
on the
first
Why
guest
Original.
on our podcast, and it was kind of like impromptu. And Angel texts us and he goes, "Hey, we're gonna have the city councilman on to interview him," and I was like, "Well, shit!" I'm like all nervous. I'm like, "Man," I stayed up late. I'm writing stuff down like that I want to ask this very important man, you know. And I was like, I want to like interview him, and I want to come off as, you know, super smart. Like, so I'm literally so every time we go to do a podcast, like I pre-prepare. I have like this spreadsheet of like topics that we're gonna talk about.
Yep.
So I'm looking up facts on the internet about him. You know, I'm asking them like, hey, what do you know about him? I'm like, is someone gonna introduce him? Dom's like, I got that. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I got that. It'll be fine. I was like, okay, cool. So I get there, and we do this at like 7 a.m. on a Sunday. We record this. And I get there, and Richard's sitting on the couch, and I thought, like, we do this at Presidential Barbershop. I thought he was like the janitor because there's the guy comes on Sunday mornings and he cleans. So we're setting up, and I'm talking and asking questions about him, and he's sitting on the couch, and then they're like, "Yeah, this is Richard Johnson." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So that was my first time meeting Richard, you know, and then this was right after you tried to do the decriminalizing marijuana, you know, great conversation, interesting conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
The next time I met him, it was, they got the new speakers at the Civic Center. They got the new speakers at the Civic Center, and this was like maybe the next week. And I go up to Richard to speak, and I was like, "Hey, Richard," and he literally looks at me and goes, "Hey," and like walks. I was like, "He doesn't know who the fuck I am." He's literally like, "Oh my God." Anyway, I want to say thank you to Richard. Happy birthday! Thank you all for letting us be a part of this. This was an absolute joy to host this and see and hear so many people that love him and care about him and all the amazing things that he's done and all the amazing things that he didn't do. Thank God, apparently. So thank you and happy birthday.
What? Yeah, all right. Coming up right now, the last third of the Why Original Podcast, Cheyenne's own Mr. Angel Maldonado.
Yeah.
Big facts. Happy birthday, my brother. Honestly, I'm not from here. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I came out here because my wife got stationed here. And it was kind of funny how I met Richard because it was just like this guy just walks in the shop all loud and wild. I can't do the raspy voice like one of these good guys just did it, but he just had this real vibe about him that I was attracted to. Because growing up where I'm from, it's like it's so diverse. You know, you don't. I couldn't understand what racism meant leaving New York. And he just had this vibe. I was just like, this dude's like real as fuck. Who the fuck is this guy? Like, seriously, he's like everything about him. He don't give a fuck. He's gonna tell you how it is. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel. I was like, I really fucking like this guy.
Yeah.
And oh my. Well, at least I'm not putting it in my mouth.
There you go.
Understand? So at the end of the day, I guess one thing I did admire about him, and one strength I have as well with everything I love to do, thank God, that all that does become possible, religion if you are or not. I've watched him and I've got better in this community, want to do things just like him and empower this community, bringing people together and showing that we do have hope. So I think one thing he showed me is to continue with your hope, and then he's donating to an organization called Hope. So it just makes me feel great about all the things I'm doing. He fully supports everything I do with the great brothers I have, this great community. I love this community, even though I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And I just think this community has so much to offer. So the fact that you're such a great dude, I'm just honored to be a friend of yours. Say happy birthday. Thank you for inviting us. And you've been special in my heart too, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's it. Man, I remember when you came on the show and we were talking about decriminalizing marijuana, and you go on this whole tangent. And as somebody said, this dude reads like city law for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so we're asking all these questions, and he goes like this. He goes, just so you guys know, if you ever get pulled over with paraphernalia in your car, there's like 17 points that they need to go through to prove it's actually paraphernalia. And if they don't go through each of those 17 points, then they can't actually bust you for it. And I was like, well, I don't smoke, but now I guess I'll start.
Gotta give it a shot, right?
Because he's all over it. And then we go out and he lists every single possible. He's like, here's all the ways Wyoming could fuck up making money from legalization. Here's all the ways it could benefit. Here's the way we need to decriminalize. And let's be honest, those people are getting high from their parents' medicine cabinets anyway. So, and he's going on. And I mean, he is just ripping it. And after about an hour and a half, Jared goes, well, I think we've talked about drugs. And sticks around. But man, it's super, super great. Rich, you've heard it from everybody. You are an absolute gem. You're a unicorn. You're a badass punk rock, down to earth dude. You're anti-government and in the government at the exact same time, which is amazing.
It's beautiful.
That's right. You have the laugh of Krusty the Clown. In the 80s, your nose was called Krusty the Clown. You like that joke a little too much, which means it's super true.
He laughed a little too hard.
Laughed a little too hard at that one. No, man, you are like, you are like the embodiment at the same time of anarchy and what government should be, all wrapped into one. And I literally mean this, like, I would never say this if I didn't mean it. And you are literally the only person on earth I genuinely feel this way about. I really feel like the world would be a much better place if everybody thought and behaved exactly like you do.
Great.
I really mean that, man. So we love you very much. Happy birthday. Thank you for everything you do. I hope you're around for 50 more years so that you can potentially molest my grandchildren. And send more Mexicans to space. That's what I'm talking about. I want to thank Chris Robars one more time from First Amendment Sound. Thank you so much for providing all this and making all this happen. Thank you to the Y Original Podcast.
Thank you.
We got a little bit to do after this. Thank you for everybody coming out. And Rich, I'm going to pass in true roast fashion. I'm going to pass the mic over to you for any final words. Happy birthday, brother. I love you.
Love you, Rich.
So yeah, I mean, I talk all the time. So, and obviously, I guess text at 1 a.m. for either ordinances or sex. But,
ordinance.
Take your pick. Sometimes they're hybrids in my world. I'm totally getting off on this ordinance right now. So yeah, to everybody, to all three of you that had to put up with this, especially you, Corbin, I can see you're super excited to be here tonight. I know we didn't play Rockstar Bingo, and I don't have any swag. So yeah. So no, I do want to give a lot of props, mainly to Samantha and her wonderful family that didn't really adopt me. I just kind of, like everybody alluded to, just kind of came in off the street and all of a sudden I'm part of their lives. But no, I do have to give them, like, I have to give Samantha's children like mad props. They have taught me patience. As like everybody has said, like Charles said on City Code, I obviously have a lot to do in my time now with her and her family. And I've told them many times that, like, I've obviously am not a very good father figure because they just listen to me tell about acid and mushrooms. So that's not very good. But as far as it goes, like I just told them, I was like, and like I say for all people in the city of Cheyenne, I have been very youth oriented to make things happen for kids because that was when I first got elected. That was what I heard the most is like, what is there for kids to do in this town? And so, I mean, I've taken them all now to Aces Range to do golf simulations.
Nice.
As soon as the snow lifts, we're going to go all to Prairie View so that I can probably con some rando golf pro to teach these kids how to golf because I suck at it. And then, but I did promise them also after they get some skills that we're all going to Top Golf. So
Yeah.
and it's just like them, and it's like every child. Like I've seen, there's so many people in this room that I interact with all their families, including their kids, just because I believe they are the future of Cheyenne, that I'm not always going to be here another 50 years or hopefully not, that they're going to be the next generation of people. And as you can tell, like I've been 3 generations to the skate park. And so these, they're now 40.
Yeah.
Like I met them when they were 12.
Yeah.
And so like, and so the fact is that like, they all turned out fine. I mean, and granted, like some of them may have had problems with methamphetamines and all kinds of weird shit. But
It sounds of weird shit.
no, there's other ones, but no,
Not them.
I can tell you that like being at the skate park for nearly 25 years and covering 5 generations of kids and learning just like that subsector of how important it was for. Because like the skate park was raw as shit. And the thing that made it so raw was because these kids were pretty much forgotten. Yeah. And so I kind of have more of a parental role in regards to their upbringing, just to show them that life does not suck.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was always encouraging them. And so I didn't like if they were like, smoking weed under the ramp, I didn't care. The instant I saw the cocaine and heroin coming out, that's when I took on more of a parental role. Like, knock that shit off. Like that will fuck up your life. And so these kids that are now adults have like shown me all the possibilities of what this town can be. Of Sam's kids and everyone like Carla's, Britt's, like I know your guys' kids, like, everybody's like kids in the room that I've, been part of their lives. They are the future and that we need to support good things happening in Cheyenne. I think it's super, super important, not only just in the political aspect to show them that it's good to care about your community through philanthropy, through politics, but also like just to enjoy life.
Yes.
And like it's been talked about with the hashtag, like my co-counselor Jeff White said,
Yes, sir.
It brought me to tears. Like I did the splash pad because of the challenge. Like I didn't really care. I was like, okay, I've been challenged. Now it's going to happen. But I can tell you the first time I went there after, I did the grand opening and all that bullshit. And then like when I went there, like when I was walking between at that time Daniels Market and Freedoms, and I stopped there and like every walk of life, rich kid, poor kid, every color of skin, everybody. And it was just like kids running through the sprinklers. And all of a sudden tears just ran down my face. And I'm like, holy shit. And even though she is the expense of a lot of jokes tonight, Kim was next to me and she's just like, why are you crying? And I'm like, because if I hadn't have done this, this never would have happened. I enjoyed it. And so I view that across the board. And
it's pretty impressive.
No, actually, so the one thing I know a lot of people say, because a lot of it goes like the reason like Jen and Rachel and stuff, they talk about fundraising is you have to put yourself, you become the face. And a lot of people have said I'm super egotistical because I'm always like there taking the pictures, but those pictures sell. Yeah. And it shows that you're actually ingrained in your project. And so when people feel that you're invested in the project, it gives them confidence to do it. So even though it's a split on half and half, that I'm either egotistical or I'm one of the most, important benefactors of this community, but you take it with a grain of salt. And so that's where it comes down to. I put myself out there. I mean, I've been, when the splash pad first came out, like people could not believe that I took the political hits I did to build a water feature. I mean, I went and met with Renee Yelnick, even though security and everybody has told you I've been literally trying to throw out. But when they wanted to tear down the wall, in the back of the theater, so Renee contacts me and she goes, not for like advice or fundraising. Yeah, exactly. So Renee calls me and she's like, because they posted their nonprofit on on everybody's, like, they did a press release. And Renee and John went out of town, came back, and got absolutely annihilated. Like, they had never, like, they'd done the Paramount, they'd done the Majestic building, they'd done all these great things for Cheyenne. And all of a sudden, when they decided to, like, do that fundraiser for, to open up the space on the stage, and they got annihilated. And like, they were like, so Renee called me and she's like, Richard, how do you do it? Like, you get blasted all the damn time. Look at what we're here tonight. I literally took every damn hit with a laugh, especially on new funny jokes about my cocaine nose in the 80s. But like, but it's super. Renee called me and she goes, and I was like, okay. I was like, this is real easy. And she goes, how's it easy, Richard? We're getting killed. Like, we're getting killed on social media. And I'm like, watch this. What's the number one culprit? And she's like, King FM was at the time. And I'm like, sick. Let's do this. Watch this. And I was like, for every hate comment you see on this thread, for everybody that supports this project, do a $5 donation to the Lincoln. If you support this project, I want you to donate $5 for every hateful comment on this. Same thing happened when, and I know this is a really shitty topic, and like, it was brought up about me and puppy mills and marijuana and plastic bags, and everybody can laugh at my expense. But one of the things that I really was pissed off about is like when Marion and Jimmy got into that altercation, where basically people like raped Marion over the damn coal, saying she deserved to be in a domestic violence situation. And I was absolutely against that. Marion and I did not get along at that time. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I knew that Safe House was an important feature in the community. So I did the exact same thing. I was like, you may not like this woman, but no woman deserves domestic violence. And so I was like, so I flipped the script on them, went on all these threads, and literally said, you may not like her, but donate to people that you don't know, the nameless faces and whatever out there. Donate to this cause. I raised them $2,000 in 3 days for a person that fucking hated me.
Nice.
So when it comes down to it, yeah, you can call me a unicorn, but I'm really not. Everybody in this damn room has the capability to do what I do. You just have to basically take the good with the bad. There is a lot more good in this community that was displayed here tonight than all the negative, trash talking, piece of shit, fucking troll bootlickers.
Amen to
that.
Amen to that.
All righty, but no, please don't drop my mic.
Don't do that.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you. Just one last story. So, I mean, Richard Johnson grew up listening to a lot of like heavy metal shit. And that really served me well because during COVID, Dominic comes back to Cheyenne and he's got a little gig, doing some entertainment stuff at Dillinger's. And of course, they don't have any fucking money. So they're like, well, we'll just get Chris to do sound. I sucked, and but like, hey, that's all they could afford. So I was there and I was like really cool. I was like the sound guy at Dillinger's. And so one day I get to do sound for Josh Gonzalez. And here comes Mr. Richard in. And he was drunk, of course. And of course, he's fucking deaf. So he runs up to the lake and he goes, "You so so he promoted me indirectly for a few gigs. So I do get so I thank you for that. He always drops my name on events and stuff, and we've worked some charity stuff together, so I really appreciate him. So thank you, Richard. And a wonderful night. So thank you guys all for coming. And don't forget to tip your bartenders.
Yes.
They've been kicking ass tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best drinks in Cheyenne are here. So tip them well. Best bartender, Tribune Eagle. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, shout out. Shout out to the Rails.
And really thanks for the Rails for
Shout out
hosting
to that.
this. They probably lost a lot of fucking business tonight. So anyways, thank you for that. All right.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Thank you guys so much. That's a wrap.
Thank you guys.
Let's do a little shout. So listen, for all of you watching, we hope you enjoyed the live stream of Richard Johnson. Happy birthday, Richard.
Happy birthday, Richard.
Man, listen, man. See, this is what we continuously talk about, right?
Yes.
We always talk about this on the cast.
Yeah.
Always, bro.
Yes.
This is why Original is great, right?
Love it.
Community, bro.
Right.
And
right.
once again, we got to do it live.
Yes.
Like we can't make this up, man.
That's
It's
right.
Passion from the heart. There's no edits.
No.
Just credits.
Right. Right. Oh, I love that.
You know what
I
I'm
love
saying?
that.
So for me, like if y'all watching, man, like realize how powerful your community is. Realize how you can be just as effective by showing up. We
Showing
say
up.
this
That's
all
right.
the time.
That's right.
And sometimes I'm a victim of my own conversation of showing up because we get busy. But when it's important like this and people are inviting you and they want you to be present and then they want you to be honored with them.
That's right.
That's
Th-
correct.
Like this is great environment. So
Yeah.
shout out to Richard Johnson.
Shout out to
I mean,
Richard.
Shout out
the
to
person.
Rich.
Happy birthday.
Everything he does.
Thank you for the invite. It's been amazing. Like we always say, even to our youth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You're still in our hearts all the time. That's why we need you to come out December 16th. We're doing the
That's right.
Christmas party to give back to the youth, families, fortunate or unfortunate, or just wanting to be a part of it. And just give back to our community once again right before Christmas. So it's been an amazing pleasure to be here. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to have my team as always.
Yeah.
And it's thankful to be with you guys again. Seriously. So
Thank y'all
shout
for
out
watching.
Shout out to the Wild Original one more time getting it done.
Yep. And I'll tell you this. So we doing this live stream right now. We're gonna have new content coming out very soon and daily content coming out with shorts and everything like
Yes.
that. You're gonna be seeing a lot more Y
We
Original.
stepping our game up.
Make sure to follow, make sure to comment, let us know what you want us to cover, what you want us to talk about. We got this amazing roaster here. Listen, this dude looks like
ready.
he
He's
eats
ready.
baby's blood, but I'm gonna tell you
He's
right
ready.
now,
I'm telling
he
you,
smells
he's
like
ready.
a fresh gentleman.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so to you guys in the live stream, if you guys want to see more of my shit, huff paint and then just go to bed and you'll probably think the same thoughts I do.
Yes.
These guys are
Yes.
hilarious, but if you guys want to see me doing comedy in Wyoming, I'm from Wyoming, so
Yes.
you guys need a
dude.
You guys need a fucking weirdo as a fourth mic. I'm right here.
Yo,
Gotcha.
yo,
Nah,
let me ask you,
that-
do
that-
you, dude,
Yo,
you,
Viva La Raza, like I said before, like I
so
said
love,
before, Foot Clan is the only clan worth the fuck.
Agreed.
I've been told this guy has been doing shit with stand-up comedy here in town
Yeah.
and to get a
Little
hold
bit.
of him.
dude,
And every time anybody tells me to get a hold of you, I'm like, man, fuck you, nerd. I don't need to hear some old redneck be like, hey, one time back, you know what's worse than a creaky dick? A bitching wife. He looks at the crowd like everybody should lose their shit. I want to talk about
Oh shit, bro.
getting fucking
Bitch your wife.
fucked over by girls, my
Oh,
horrible
shit.
life that I've had in Wyoming, all the
Yes.
fights I've been in. Yo, if you guys want me as fourth mic,
yo,
You got it.
yo,
Facts.
You got it.
Have you
Pleasure to
honestly
meet you,
never done
boss.
stand up before?
I've been doing it my whole goddamn
Because
life.
you crushed tonight.
That was
dude.
yeah, you're amazing, man.
You crushed
Yeah,
tonight.
honestly,
So
I'm gonna
tonight
say
was
a
the
natural.
First time that my pal Rich over here was like, dude, so you did stand up. So I used to be in a band that nobody gives a fuck about anymore. I was in Horta Drogger. Check us out on Spotify and all that shit. But don't buy it.
Don't
Just
buy it, he
download
said.
that shit and then click out of it before one of the guys in the band that kicked me out gets some money.
Gotcha.
Fuck those guys.
Yes.
Listen to my shit for free. Go on YouTube. These guys need me is so you guys all kind of get along. I'm the wild card, bro. I'm your Charlie Day, dude. I'll come in and be like, yo, fuck the cops, fuck churches, and you guys will be like, dude, we're doing a promo.
We're kind of promoting some stuff. We kind of
doing
need
that just
Yeah.
yet.
In
Hold
the
it.
comments, if you guys want to see me more, my name's Jordan Lum. I love all you motherfuckers.
Appreciate you,
Shout
man.
out to you, brother. Fact. Shout out
Appreciate
to
you.
Foot Clan for life. I'm sending Mexicans to the moon. If you guys didn't see that shit earlier, I love all you guys.
Love it.
Hail Wyoming. Hail these guys. You guys did a great job.
Appreciate you,
Thank
man.
you, boss.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate
Nailed
you.
it.
Watch these guys as shit. Fuck Bill Burr. Fuck Burt Kreischer. That dude is just a drunk motherfucker. If you want to see a drunk guy take his shirt off, vote for Rich.
Exactly. We got the shirtless drunk guy. Light it like
I'll
now.
see you guys in the chats. Any of you Latina
Yes.
girls whose cousins I just
Wow.
went to space I'll marry you right now. I'm single.
I'll marry you.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, man.
Yo, man. As you can see, it's been a blast. It's still going. You know,
Unity, motherfuckers. Unity.
It sucks right now, but
Viva La Raza, bro.
Yo, facts. You already know I'm Puerto Rican though. Check it out. At the end of the day, as you can see, we having so much fun, but we have to unfortunately say goodbye.
We do. We have to
But
go.
I ain't even gonna say that. We're gonna say so long, and we coming right.
That's
back.
right. You're gonna
You
see
already
so
know.
much more of
Yeah,
us. This is just the kickoff. It's the way to kick off. You know,
sir.
the second phase of Why Original.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, we finishing a year.
Yes,
Yep.
it.
Oh, 2024 about to be rocking and popping.
Let's
what we
go.
doing.
You
Let's
already
go.
know.
Appreciate you
All right.
guys. Thank y'all again for listening.
Facts.
Why Original Podcast? We out.
Look, while you listen to the outro, I'm gonna show you all the people who came out tonight. Check this out.
This is at the end too. We should have did it a little earlier. I think you got a little bit of it, but now this is the closing. Yo, thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. Peace.
Thank you.